live on a Sunday night, breaking news, after literally stressing out millions and millions and millions of people, literally playing games with their lives, especially gig workers, right? You know, make these big announcements, hey, they're going to sign this bill, gets passed in Congress, it gets passed in the Senate, and then you think he's going to sign off, and then he demands $2,000. Now, listen, I'm all for $2,000. I mean, this was put forward by Nancy Pelosi and her people ages ago, right? And he could have negotiated that $2,000 and said, listen, don't bring me a bill unless you have $2,000 written in there. He could have done that months ago because they'd been negotiating for 6 months, but literally playing around with all of these people's lives while this, while unemployment actually lapsed, right? The benefits for millions actually expired. And then he was supposed to sign it, and, they fly all the paperwork down to Mar-a-Lago. 2 minutes before he pulls out, everybody panics, And again, I'm going to go with what Marianne Mahegan says here. She has the opening comment. She says, thank God something was passed. People are desperate. And I think that line right there sums it up. I think, Mary, you could not have said it better than that, right? People were stressed. People like, oh my God, we're not getting this $1,200. We're not getting the $2,000. They're settling for $600 because that's what Mitch McConnell wanted. $600 is better than nothing, right? $300 per week for 11 weeks is better than nothing. Let the next president come in. Let them negotiate the next stimulus, but get the freaking thing signed on the dotted line, right? I don't know why you had to play, right, with your GOP senators. You stress them the crap out, and you stress the rest of America out, right? And Dan, he just finally signed it. It's official. That's why I just made this breaking news that just came right on. So Trump signs bipartisan coronavirus relief bill after calling on Congress to approve $2,000 stimulus checks. This is what Nancy Pelosi and her crew had said from the beginning, give them $2,000. And he could have said way back, this is like, don't bring me anything under $2,000. Could have said that months ago, right? But Mitch McConnell had his way. They get it down to $600. They realize, the Americans need the money. I mean, $600 is nothing, right? But they need the money. As Marianne, again, I'm going to quote her words, thank God something was passed. People were desperate, and the word was really desperate, right? So John Bloxham says, don't be blaming Trump. I am. John, I'm blaming Trump flat out on this because he could have been involved in the negotiations. Ages ago, he could have put the pressure on Mitch McConnell. It was more important for them to cozy up to corporates and get $780 billion for military and defense contractors. So, John, I'm not with you on this, my brother. Nancy Pelosi was pushing for they were pushing for a $2.5 trillion bill. They were willing to come down. Mitch McConnell was the problem, right? I'm surprised the guy got reelected in Kentucky, really. If the Republicans have a problem, it's Mitch McConnell, right? Because Mitch McConnell is the wealthiest senator, worth about $26 million he's funneled through the system for himself. Mitch McConnell only thinks about himself and corporations, doesn't think about the John Bloxham, doesn't think about the Dan, doesn't think about the rideshare professor, doesn't think about Marianne. Mitch McConnell is about Mitch McConnell and his corporate cronies. What defense contracts can he get him? That is why he is the highest, gets the most money, right? Period. Politicians follow the money. If you get the money, you have the dollars to run campaigns for re-election and get another 4 years and another 4 years and another 4 years. I've been in politics long enough with a father that was a political advisor to both sides, know how the game is played, right? So John at least agrees with me on Mitch, not Trump. Okay, so we halfway there. But what the point that I'm trying to make, John, is that he could have just said, listen, to Mitch McConnell, don't even think about sending me a bill under $1,200 or under $2,000. I think he got a surprise when Mitch McConnell said, we're not budging from $600. And I do understand in a way that he sort of refused a little bit, but he could have done this a long time ago, right? You do not play around with the lives of the people that pay these individuals. These people are paid by us. We own these people. They work for us, right? We don't work for them. So President Donald Trump has signed the $900 billion bipartisan coronavirus relief package on Sunday. The negotiated rescue package contains $600 stimulus checks. You can count on that. Federal unemployment aid, food and rental assistance, as well as education funding. Hurrah. I will sign the omnibus and COVID package with a strong message that makes clear to Congress that wasteful items need to be removed, Trump said in a statement. I will send back to Congress a red line version, item by item, accompanied by the formal rescission request to Congress, insisting that those funds be removed from the bill. Right? Well, you signed it, it's through. You can bark, moan, cry, biatch as much as you want to and put as much red ink under there. When you sign, it's through. The checks go out, right? President Donald Trump has signed the $900 billion coronavirus relief package on Sunday after earlier threatening to reject it because it didn't have larger stimulus payments. I will sign the omnibus and COVID package with a strong message that makes clear to Congress that wasteful items need to be removed, Trump said in a statement. I will send back to Congress a red line version, item by item, accompanied by the formal rescission request to Congress, insisting that those funds be removed from the bill. Marianne says $600 check is pathetic, but better than nothing. Alan Winston says it should be around $5,000. Interesting. Uberman Tampa said, so he cried about $2,000 checks, but we're selling ourselves out for $600 for $4.8 billion in foreign aid. Right, exactly. And why does all of this, why do these other companies receive billions and billions and billions of dollars? Uberman Tampa is right? And then on top of it, I mean, the money allocated to defense makes you dizzy. Gary George says, weak, glad other countries get this done. And, like countries like Norway or Denmark or Germany, do you know how they, or New Zealand, do you know how they assisted their citizens? I mean, I have friends in these countries, and they tell me that the government took very, very well care of them during COVID and still doing it, right? With assistance, checks, et cetera, right? But I just say, in this country, we have our priorities wrong. We don't have to bail every person out worldwide, right? We need to focus here, right? And focus on the important things and get this economy, get the economy going. If you'd provided a $2,000 stimulus check to people, I will guarantee you that money goes back into the system within 60 days. It's paid back into the system, right? Guy's not going to take $2,000 and hold on to it. He's got to pay his rent, he's got to pay this, his utilities, gas, keep his car going, insurance. I mean, it goes straight back and, kickstarts the economy. So I don't know how much you can do with $600, but ladies and gentlemen, $600 ain't much. It ain't much. There's not much I can do with $600. I will sign the omnibus and COVID package with a strong message. He said, I'm signing this bill to restore unemployment benefits, stop evictions, provide rental assistance, add money for PPP, return our airline workers back to work, add substantially more money for vaccine distribution, and much more. Trump suggested on Tuesday he wouldn't sign the coronavirus relief legislation unless significant adjustments were made on the size of stimulus payments, calling on Congress to approve an increase from the current level of $600 per person to $2,000. Right? His own GOP guys, they chopped this thing down. right? The Republican Congress, Republican senators were not willing to pass $1,200 or $2,000. They said, absolutely not. They voted against it. Ted Cruz was one of the guys that voted against, providing $1,200 to $2,000. The president should have put his foot down with his party months and months ago. We waited 6 months for this, and we got what we finally got was dismal. It was absolutely dismal, right? But hey, something is coming. What you can count on, you can count on $300. If you have a PUA, you can count on $300 for 11 weeks, so you can count on $3,300 plus $600 per individual. Your mother and father, you can count on $1,200. If you have kids, 2 kids, you can count on another $1,200. So if you're just a single individual person and you'd be getting the PUA, which expired on December the 26th, yesterday. So basically today it lapsed, he signed it, so it continues, right? You can count on $3,300 plus $600, you can count on $3,900. Uberman Tampa being a little bit sarcastic, saying, don't worry, Biden will save the day. I'm not saying he's going to save the day, but he will get another stimulus package going. And another stimulus package means the minds between Democrats and Republicans in both the Congress and the Senate. Biden can come up with a fancy offer, but if those two sides are not on the same page, Biden's going to be just as effective as Trump was, right? Trump had his hands tied, and possibly Biden will have his hands tied if they don't pick up those 2 Georgia Senate seats. That's a fact. That's just politics. That is a fact, right? Mark Rutte, Trump should have never signed giving other countries money. I agree. Like, why does Israel need more money? Why do all these countries need money? What is that BS about? Seriously, right? Focus on the issue here. I would have rather seen, or I agree with Mark, all that money that went foreign aid, right? Why don't you spend it on really getting a better infrastructure out, vaccines out faster, more facilities? But there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars are flowing overseas, and they should be here. It's the same with Amazon. It's the same with Google. It's the same with Apple. They pay 0 taxes, right? Why do they have foreign offshore accounts and pay 0.0? Something is fundamentally flawed in the system. If we farm our jobs out to India or to the Philippines or to like Uber, to Manila in the Philippines or to Bogota in Colombia, jobs need to be here, right? Countries need to take care of their own country. The money needs to stay in the system, right? Amazon, Apple, Google, all of those fancy North California companies in my state need to be paying taxes. Amazon in Seattle needs to be paying taxes. What's all this BS about, like, okay, oh, I've got all these offshore accounts, they're protected, they pay nothing in taxes, ladies and gentlemen. Seems to me something's really, really flawed in the system. Now, the negotiated coronavirus relief package included $600 stimulus payments for Americans, $300 weekly federal. I've got Edward Escobar on the phone. Let me just answer. Edward. Gentlemen.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm on a live feed.
There's a lot of background noise on someone. I don't know. Yeah, it's on mine. It will be. I'm walking out.
So.
Hello, James. How are you?
Hey guys, I can't hear a word. You got people talking over people. Sorry, I'm not going to participate in a conference call with 5 people and everybody's talking over each other. The negotiated coronavirus relief package included $600 stimulus payments for Americans, $300 weekly federal unemployment benefits into mid-March, $25 billion in rental assistance, as well as aid for small businesses and funding for education. By the way, those were the Canadians from the local co-op. They called a meeting with me for Sunday night. But when you have 5 people talking over each other, I mean, I would I would have brought them into this live feed and let them update you. But it looked like people were talking over people. Let's see. So, now they're trying me again. Torsten speaking.
Hello, Professor. How are you?
Hey, Mulib, I'm in a live feed at the moment.
Oh, okay.
I told the guys I was available at 5 p.m. and then the time changed. You guys, I think, changed it to 6.
Yeah. No, I got you. So, are you still good, or?
Well, let me. I'm in a live feed with my people. I mean, I've got 42 people in the room. Let me finish up the live feed and then
do that, and then call back. Then
I will. Okay, bye. Can't just randomly just say, okay, well, 5 p.m. meeting is off and we're going to do it at 6. I mean, doesn't work like that. Sorry, it just pisses me off sometimes. Both chambers passed the federal rescue package along with a government funding bill with strong bipartisan support. That was the one thing. Now, the other article said Trump begrudgingly signs COVID-19 relief bill, government spending averting shutdown. Now, the one thing I got to say I'm really, really happy about is that the shutdown was averted. I did not like the fact that he was playing with the emotions and the feelings with so many millions of Americans who were stressed through the roof about this. After criticizing the government funding and emergency coronavirus relief as wasteful and inadequate, the president ended up signing it. That is a good thing. Yeah, Uberman Tampa, I would also say recheck that, buddy. You know, you made it. You had an argument with me the other day, and I sent you 6 links to state that I don't know where you got your information from, but I mean, it clearly gave you factual 6 links from different sources. So I'm not sure who your provider is of information. I'm not sure, and I carefully say that. You may want to look into that a little bit. You know, I mean, the problem in politics is if you have a hardcore Trump supporter, he can't do anything wrong, right? And people will tend to get their news maybe from YouTube channels or from blogging channels or from, I don't know, Newsmax or whatever. I mean, Newsmax just had to, and Fox just literally had to apologize about this whole embarrassing story about accusing the companies that manufactured the voting machines, right? Because they got sued by the voting machine companies. Don't put BS out there. Bring facts to the table. So they retracted all of their statements, Newsmax and Fox, because they knew they were facing a hefty lawsuit. You cannot just go out there in politics and face value believe what one specific channel tells you. You have to literally go after multiple sources. Go on to BBC, go on to Reuters, go on to Chicago Tribune, go on to multiple news sources, international and national, before you form your opinion, right? Don't just heavily rely on what maybe like one conspiracy theorist puts out there. Oh my God, he said that, so it's got to be right. Check your freaking facts before you make decisions. That's all I ask. Now, Paul Figueroa is in the house. Let's send our love to Paul Figueroa. He got COVID, my buddy in San Diego, in the house right now. He got COVID. And let's send him better wishes. Hope you and your family recover very, very quickly. My kid's neighbor down in Calabasas, their neighbor, the father, the mother, and the 2 kids got COVID. So the circles are closing up, man. This is spreading extremely fast, right? Sea River Entertainment, nice at West Coast Customs. Yeah, I've been there many times. I like the guys at West Coast Customs. So after throwing the bill into doubt earlier this week, President Donald Trump caved Sunday night and signed the coronavirus relief and federal spending measure, averting a government shutdown, ensuring millions of unemployed Americans get some relief going into the new year. I know you wanted to play a little bit of a game there and play a little bit of politics. I am grateful that he finally signed it. And I do hope that the next incoming president also right away sits down with Republicans and Democrats and gets another bill. I'm all for this $2,000 stimulus check. He was for it. Nancy Pelosi was for it. Mitch McConnell was definitely against that $2,000. It is because of Mitch McConnell that we got $600. So I'm all for future aid, maybe January or February. Let them immediately start negotiating. You know, we had the CARES Act. We got this second package. Let them go out there right away on the 20th of January and start working on a third stimulus package. Dan said, who started the disinformation campaigns? Well, that's a whole nother video, but it's a very, very important question that really needs to be addressed, Dan. Paul Figueroa says, this is no joke, Torsten. Thank you for the love, my friend. Absolutely. I send you and your family nothing but love and well wishes. And if you need any supplements or that, man, I truly keep a ton of the best stuff here to keep my immune system up, to keep everyone's immune system up. And when Paul says COVID-19 ain't no joke, he texts me and he said, Torsten, I lost my smell. I lost my taste. My chest is sore. I today briefly saw the neighbor from a distance and I said, what type of symptoms did you feel? And he said, my chest closed down. My wife is still in hospital. I lost my taste. I lost my smell. And I'm like, wow, it's exactly the same symptoms as Paul Figueroa was experiencing. This is nothing to F around with, my friends, right? So is it retroactive? No, nothing is retroactive. Let's say they would have only had this bill signed in 2 to 4 weeks. Yes, it would have been retroactive to December the 26th, right? So you could literally from December the 26th, it just keeps on going. A day later, on the 27th of December, he signs it. Now we get $89 million furniture. Your daughter got it in July and she recovered. Wow. And how old is your daughter, if I may ask? Is she a healthy individual? Did she bounce back very, very quickly? So here it says it was an act of mercy for millions after Trump suddenly indicated Tuesday night that he wouldn't support the bill. Made it very, very clear. Send me a $2,000 stimulus check. And Nancy Pelosi said, Trump, let's do it. Let's do this $2,000. So, you know, I like the fact that he was fighting for more than $600. But listen, folks, let's be real. He had 6 months to do this. Why did he suddenly just demand $2,000 the day of the sign? Oh, I'm not signing this. This is not enough. You could have told Mitch McConnell and the boys, don't send me any bill unless you have $2,000 in it, right? But this put a ton of pressure on the GOP, a ton of pressure on the president. People rent-wise needed the money. People were counting on it. People were stressed through the roof. It would also cost a lot of votes in 2024, and he signs it, right? So he says it was an act of mercy for millions after Trump suddenly indicated Tuesday night that he wouldn't support the bill. Trump said he wanted to increase the direct stimulus payments from $600 to $2,000. I thought that was a good idea, as well as eliminate a number of foreign aid provisions that were included in his own budget request earlier this year. So Uberman Tampa, you're wrong, right? You're wrong. Here, this was in his own budget request, all this foreign aid. Now suddenly didn't want this foreign aid. But Republicans wouldn't go along with his call to increase checks, and Trump seemed to realize that holding out on the bill would cause chaos and distress across the country. Something we can relate to, right? On top of ending unemployment benefits for more than 10 million people, Trump would have caused a government shutdown, delayed vaccine distribution, and held up stimulus checks for weeks if they ever even come. Instead, Trump folded and agreed to the bill that lawmakers and his own administration negotiated. An hour before signing the bill, Trump tweeted from his Mar-a-Lago resort, he's out there golfing again for the 317th time, that he had good news on COVID relief bill. He is vacationing at the Florida resort for Christmas holiday. Trump's decision to sign the bill is a major sigh of relief for Republican lawmakers. I bet you for Mitch McConnell can sleep well tonight, who was surprised to see the president, who spent months seemingly uninterested in negotiations, suddenly turn on a bill that's been tediously hashed out for months. So as I said, he could have got involved months ago, but no, last minute, all this drama, all this power just to show, hey, I have the power of the pen, I'm not going to sign it, throws everything into chaos. I don't know what you guys think about that. I'm not a big favor of that. Deliberate chaos, deliberate infliction of stress. I'm not for that, right? So Trump released a ranting 4-minute video on Twitter Tuesday where he called the government spending Congress had passed wasteful and criticized the COVID-19 provisions as inadequate. He also demanded $2,000 stimulus checks, even though he hadn't pushed for them in a package. Even though he hadn't pushed for them in a package his own White House negotiated. The bill, which was largely seen as the only compromise that could get through a deeply divided Congress, passed with veto-proof majorities, 359 to 53 in the House and 92 to 6 in the Senate. The Senate will start the process for a vote that increases checks to $2,000, repeals Section 230, and starts an investigation into voter fraud. Those were his conditions. Trump said in a statement after signing the bill, Section 230 of the 1996 Communications Decency Act shields social media companies from being liable for their users' behavior. But Trump's sudden turn against the legislation threatened to sink it entirely. Nifty 50 is in the house. Alan Winston says he'll be gone in less a month. Scott Tucker says it will take about 2 weeks for everything to take effect. That's very true. IQ Boy says 8 months, bull crap, we get $600. Zach Heston says China 2020. Mark Biss in London says $600 will be about 10 days. The Truth Warriors in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Haven't seen you for a long time. Hope you and your family are doing well. IQ Boy says, how much went to foreign aid when Americans need it bad? 100% correct. We're dishing all this foreign money, keep it here. Make guys like Jeff Bezos, Amazon, Google, Apple, make them pay taxes, not hide behind offshore accounts. You want to solve the problem? Those companies need to pay in. Sir Irwin's in the house. Good to see you, my brother. Good. All right. So because the congressional session ends on January the 3rd, I did not know that, Trump could have waited to veto the bill and seen the measure die then, forcing both chambers to pass the bill again to send it to his desk, at which point he could have waited another 10 days before deciding to either veto it or let it become law without his signature. Such a decision would have caused another government shutdown, absent stopgap spending bill, and withheld aid from tens of millions of struggling Americans who have lost their jobs or who have seen reduced income due to the coronavirus pandemic. The federal programs Congress created to help the jobless earlier this year expired on December the 26th. We know that yesterday, cutting off much needed financial help to upwards of 14 million Americans who have lost their jobs during the pandemic. In fact, because Trump waited to sign the bill until Sunday night, millions won't receive benefits this week. Thank you, Donald. We appreciate that. I'm being sarcastic, of course. According to Michelle Evermore, an unemployment policy expert with the National Employment Law Project, unemployment recipients will miss out on 1 week of the extra $300, already bringing the 11 weeks of extra federal unemployment benefits provided the legislation down to 10. I did not know that. So instead of $3,300, because of this little game that he played, this little chaotic game, you're only getting $3,000. So that $300 of unemployment, vamonos, gone, adios, auf Wiedersehen. Jeremy Marrero says, do we lose unemployment since he waited this long? Well, I just answered that, right? So what we do is, out of the 11 weeks, because he played this little game, which I thought was complete BS, that's just my personal opinion, right? Each and every one of us loses $300. So instead of $3,300, you're getting $3,000. So basically, kiss 3 blue $100 notes goodbye, because I play around. Play this little game of chaos. Zach Heston, $33 million tip for Venezuela for the election. Paul Figueroa, unfortunately, Torsten, the corporations write the tax codes, which I know that, but it's sad that they get to exercise all these loopholes, register an island, register in, Guernsey, all of these offshore accounts, Luxembourg, blah, 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 hide their money there, right? Panama. Sad. Sad. I'm just reading through your messages here. Well, they are still working on the $2,000 official vote comes tomorrow. No, that $2,000 it's goodbye, buddy. It's gone. Congress could try to pass extra stimulus. Nancy Pelosi already attempted to increase direct payments in COVID relief bill from $600 to $2,000 as Trump demanded on Christmas Eve, but Republicans blocked the attempt. There we go. Who blocked the $2,000 attempt? There we go. Black and white. Read it. Not making this shit up. There it is. And this is what I want to get through to those people that glorify the guy, right? He cannot do anything wrong in their eyes. But you guys got to follow the facts, my friends. You got to read up from multiple sources. You can't just rely on one little blog or YouTube channel where you get your information from. You got to go out and at least go through 10, 15 reliable channels to make up your mind and get the real facts, right? Not the gray zone. You want clear, black or white. What is it? And there it is. So that $2,000 was shot down by Mitch McConnell and his cronies. Trump wanted the $2,000. Nancy Pelosi and that already put the $2,000 forward a long, long time ago. Trump could have jumped in months ago and said, Mitch McConnell, senators, if you send me a bill and you don't have $2,000 in there, written in there, I'm not going to sign it. Why wait till the final hour? Why wait and stress out millions of people? Dustin is gaming is in the house. Good to see Dustin in the house. What's up, everyone? Good to see Dustin here. I like that Dustin mix it up. He's got a Dustin is driving, Dustin is gaming. Soon it's going to be Dustin is a millionaire. Dustin real estate. I'm not being funny, but the guy truly at that young age is going to do so well, right? Some people touch things and it becomes gold. How's it, brother? Naz Lutaro, you know how to say it, buddy. How's it? That's how we say it in South Africa. How's it? How's it, me bro? Timothy Newell says, hi, Dustin. IQ Boy says, Trump passed it because if they vote on 2K, he will know the names that rejected it. Smart. I like your thinking. Right. So in the end, Trump signed what Congress gave him in the first place. As president, I've told Congress that I want far less wasteful spending and more money going to the American people in the form of $2,000 checks per adult and $600 per child, Trump said in the statement. I will sign the omnibus and COVID package with a strong message that makes clear to Congress that wasteful items need to be removed, he continued. I just want to give Nashville a shout out. I know you guys went through hell over there on Christmas Day. Really sad to hear that. They caught the guy. They know who it is. well, they got the guy's name. They didn't catch the guy. The guy's in a million little particles. He blew himself up. But they have the name, and amazing how quickly these guys work, when they want to resolve things like that, right? Within 48 hours, FBI, everyone, they found the guy. And he goes and frickin' blows up an RV and warns the people, seen that chilling video of him playing at the sirens, everybody leave your homes, something. I don't know, I didn't watch the whole thing. Mikey Momo's in the house. He says, Prof, we're getting 2K. No, we're not. No, we're not. Please don't. Mikey Momo, I wish we were getting 2K. Nada. We're getting $600. Maybe come January the 20th, when the new president is in, maybe he can negotiate between Democrats and Republicans. Maybe they can start as a starting point, start negotiating with 2K. And Marianne says to Mikey, no, only $600. $1,400 less than Nancy Pelosi and Trump wanted. Zach Heston says, it doesn't take me 10 different channels to know that my ass hurts. When can we expect it? I would think in the next 2 weeks. That's what I think. $600 will be gone like that. $600 is like, I mean, seriously, what can you do with $600? Go grocery shopping, $150 gone. So he says, I'll send it back to Congress, a red line version, item by item, accompanied by the formal rescission request to Congress, insisting that those funds be removed from the bill. The law will provide $300 a week in unemployment insurance until mid-March, and a $600 direct payment to those making under $75,000. Well, Mark Rowden says, who put the aid to other countries and museum in the bill? On other countries, Republicans. On the museums and that, both sides. But the bottom line is they bundled that in to get literally two separate issues, like a COVID-19 relief and unemployment bill and all the other BS. I don't know why they had to bundle that into one, right? I don't know why they could have created, hey, one bill, sign off on this, maybe a defense bill, $780 billion, how much they got for the defense, and then, whatever foreign aid or museums or infrastructure or bridges or whatever, a separate bill. But somehow this bundling process, right, all mixing it all like one big mixed salad, to me it doesn't make sense. But I mean, I don't write these bills. I sort of read like, hey, what's possibly in them? But what they did here is just like they threw everything into the mix. It was like chaos. Charlie's in the house. Good to see you. Hope you and your family are doing well. IQ Boy says, I already spent $400 in groceries today. Now I have $200 left. Give me an idea what to do with the rest. What do you do with $200? Go and fill up your wife's car, fill up your car. What? You're down another $150, right? You gassed up her car, you gassed up your car. You spent $400 on groceries, $550, you got $50 left. What do you do with $50? Maybe put that towards one of the utility bills. There we go, $600 gone. Right there. CRZD Biker says $2,000. No 2,000. I don't know why people think like the 2,000. There's no 2,000. There's no 2,000. Charlie's probably got a good idea here. So, you take the $600, you go to the casino, you put it on black or red, and you're just like, okay, I just hope I get my $1,200 stimulus, right? Teddy T is in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Philly's in the house. Philadelphia's in the house. So the law will provide $300 a week in unemployment insurance until mid-March and a $600 direct payment to those making under $75,000. As I mentioned before, at first, it was 11 weeks times $300, $3,300. But because They did not get this signed and sorted out before the December the 26th 1 week lapses, and we lose $300. So we only get paid for 10 weeks, $3,000. So the law also includes $20 billion for vaccine procurement. Would have truly thought that out of $900 billion, you'd put a little bit more than $20 billion towards vaccine procurement, right? I mean, don't you want to get this issue done with, over with? And $9 billion for vaccine distribution. I would have thought it might be $20 billion for vaccine distribution and maybe $100 billion for vaccines. So I don't know where their priorities are. I mean, do they really care about the distribution of the vaccines? Do they care about the vaccines? Do they care about ending this pandemic? That is where the money should go to, right? Good to see you, buddy. Wayne Gerald says the willingness to send foreign aid is nothing more than a money laundering operation for Congress to get kickbacks. Well, their priorities, Wayne, let's be very, very clear on both sides. On both sides, Congress, Senate, Democrats, Republicans, their priorities, their supply, their money to get re-elected, et cetera, is cozy up to the corporations first. I tell you, American citizens come second. And I'm going to say that about Republicans and Democrats. They follow the money, right? Who's taking care of me? I'll have to take care of them. Isaac Rico's in the house. Love and light says prayers to all. Let's send our prayers to Paul Figueroa, who was in here briefly, who got COVID. We send his family well. Yeah. My kids in Calabasas, their neighbors all got COVID. Father, mother, son and daughter all got COVID. He was just released and got the green light. He's okay. His wife and his 2 kids are still in hospital and suffering badly. Right? Just got the news across the road. I said, hey, John, how's it going? Haven't seen you for a while. Yeah, we all got COVID. I'm like, what? WTF? You kidding me? What was it like? So I was, he was by his garage. I didn't want him to come walking towards me. I mean, I was over 50, 60 feet away from him, sort of shouting across the road. And he goes, yeah, my wife's still in the hospital, Los Robles, my daughter and my son. And he said, out of all 4 of them, his son was hit the hardest, really battling. CRZD Biker says, can I borrow $2,000, please, anyone? Hey, go and hit up Mitch McConnell. Say, USOB, send me $2,000, Venmo, PayPal right now. Romeo Bocala's in the house. Scott Tucker says he'll send an update tomorrow. Laura's taking pictures of the children. She's very snap happy with her camera since she got the new Apple. She loves that toy. I mean, literally every single day this lady takes photos. Yeah, talking about you, wifey. So the law also includes $20 billion for vaccine procurement, which I think is low. $9 billion for vaccine distribution, which I think is very low. K-12 schools, colleges, and universities will get $82 billion to deal with the pandemic, which probably is low. Small businesses get the most funding. The Paycheck Protection Program will get $284 billion more for forgivable loans to businesses, and there's an additional $20 billion in economic injury disaster loans, $15 billion for live entertainment venues and movie theaters, and several billion for other small businesses administration programs. Federal emergency relief has been a crucial part of keeping Americans afloat as the economy has tanked this year. Now, I do part of my routine. I give my sponsor a shout out, Cova. My link is below. You get 1 month free. It's a gig protection plan that covers all these companies. We can go straight back to the topic just now. 24/7 health service, automatic mileage tracking, paid time off, legal protection. If you get wrongfully terminated, they do have a legal arm called Legal Rideshare in Chicago. They will send out the letters. They will get you reactivated. Now, if you have been deactivated, right, and just want a service, want an attorney that sends out the letters on your behalf, they do have a service at Legal Rideshare for $24.99, $25, and then they represent you and try and get you back in there. I think it's probably the best $25 that anyone could spend if you have been deactivated. If you have an injury, property damage, any accident, wage losses, let them handle the entire insurance process for you. Now, back to the article. Federal emergency relief has been a crucial part of keeping Americans afloat as the economy has tanked this year. This law would make people's lives better by dramatically reversing a persistent decline in personal income caused by the CARES Act programs expiring, according to an analysis by the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. CFRB estimates the aid in the COVID-19 relief bill would increase income in the first 3 months of 2021 between 11 and 13% above pre-pandemic levels. Previous studies have shown the federal programs created under the CARES Act kept millions from sinking into poverty over the summer. There was some beef, there was some substance in that first package, right? And it helped a lot. The second one, which took them 6 months, is a joke. I mean, it is a slap in the face to all of us. Silly Goose, you're welcome, my friend, says, hi, Torsten, thanks for the update. Thank you for being here, Silly Goose. I like that name, Silly Goose. Wayne Gerald says, I get too much BS from CNN, MSNBC, ABC, Fox, CBS, and even Newsmax. Well, I won't. Let me not even go there. I mean, Newsmax, erase that from those others, right? Just erase that one, right? They just got sued for all the BS. There'll be a lot of channels coming out trying to capitalize, including the Rideshare Hub, trying to capitalize on the feelings and emotions of people after Trump lost, right? It's Newsmax being one of them. I mean, the amount of respect and what I think about Newsmax, don't make me throw up, brother. If you are following Newsmax, I hope you get a little bit of a reality check. The others, sure. Right? Check in with all of them, get your news, but extend it beyond that. Go to Reuters, go to BBC, right? I mean, the Russian one, Pravda, I don't think you're going to get any good information from that newspaper, right? Le Figaro in France, I'm not sure if you're going to get, you understand French, you're going to get any good info from them. But there's a lot of great publications out there, a lot of great channels where you can get some decent information. Wayne Gerald says, Mitch McConnell is an American traitor who has China interests. That, my friend, I would agree with. And I think that Mitch McConnell, if you really look into his background, most of his money right now is setting up Russian metal companies in Kentucky. He got a ton of money from very, very wealthy Russian oligarchs to set up their companies in Kentucky, right? By far the wealthiest senator who only thinks of corporations. If you are a Republican, if you really want to change things, make sure that you get something better than Mitch McConnell in Kentucky, right? Present something better, someone that's actually there for the people, not there for Chinese interests, Russian oligarchs' interests, right? And I'll back that all up. If anybody wants the links, I'll back it up. So while the boost will not last through the second quarter of next year, higher household savings in the first quarter and a robust economic recovery as the weather warms and vaccines are distributed could make a huge difference for the remainder of 2021, the CRFB said it in its analysis. So where I would spend the money is on vaccines and vaccine distributions, because the faster you get people, listen, $20 billion for vaccines, $9 billion for distribution. That's 29 billion of the 900 billion has been allocated to the worst issue, namely COVID-19, right? I mean, you have your priorities up your ass if you're putting $29 billion towards vaccines and $9 billion towards distribution. You should be throwing $200 billion on that, right? Getting the pandemic, and the sooner you get the pandemic under control, the sooner you get vaccinations done, right? The sooner you can slow this down before summer, you then start kickstarting the economy and it will come back. The priorities are so flawed. If you are paying $20 billion for vaccines, and you're allocating $20 billion to vaccines and $9 billion to the distribution, $29 billion of the $900 billion, I ask you, right? That to me, that other $871 billion, okay, you're funding a couple of programs, granted, right? Stimulus checks are included in there, but where the money should be spent, get the vaccines to the elderly, to the most vulnerable, right? To the essential workers, to the doctors yesterday. Now, what do you have to do? You have to F around for 6 months, both sides, before you come up with such a dismal figure. These vaccines from day one, when they were green lighted, right? The Moderna one, the Pfizer BioNTech vaccines, from day one, the money should have been there, not in form of 20 billion, not in form of $9 billion of distribution, but at least 150, 200 billion. Throw it at it, get the trucks rolling, get the freezers set up, get the infrastructure for distribution going. You'll save lives, you'll get the economy back. It is a no-brainer, and it's well documented. And I get a lot of feedback from a guy in Germany who's completely dialed in with these companies, especially with BioNTech, right? Like, that is where you have to spend the money. If you want to get this economy, you want to get the show on the road, get this pandemic under control, right? Foreign aid and all this BS. Come on. David Gooley, when coronavirus has an almost 100% recovery rate for people in generally good health, the vaccine is not only unnecessary, but when there is an immunity against liability, it's foolish to get it. But look, you're talking about the healthy. You're talking about people with good immune systems. What about the 80, 90-year-old? What about the people in the nursing homes? What about the people in the prisons, right? What about the homeless out on the streets? Go and freaking vaccinate them all. Jody Chris Reynolds said Trump needs to hurry up and sign the bill and get it over with tonight. He did sign it tonight. That's basically why I went on the live feed, Jody. But he's playing around, playing a little game of chaos. Thoughts, ideas, and opinions is in the house. I like it. This one of my favorite channels, this and Meet Kevin. I like Kevin. I love Kevin, the entrepreneur. We appreciate you here. I like that name. Maybe I should rename the channel. Thoughts, ideas, and opinions. I really like it. I mean, it just talks to me. Jason Smith says, death to America is coming. Now, that's a little bit dark, dude. I don't know where you find your choice of words, but you may want to do some retuning and rethinking there, right? You've tuned into a very, very, very dark channel there. Like, just keep it upbeat and keep positive, right? Keep pushing for positive change. Keep pushing things forward. But be a game changer. Be part of the solution, not be part of the problem. Right? You've got the power in you. If we have the numbers, we can push for the change. I am bitterly disappointed that only 20 billion is allocated towards the vaccines. I am equally bitterly disappointed that only $9 billion is allocated towards distribution. 29 billion of 900 billion. Shame on the Congress, shame on the Senate, that they can only put $29 billion towards the most important factors here. Thoughts, ideas, and opinions says, I wasn't talking about Kevin the entrepreneur. There is another YouTube channel called Meet Kevin. Cool, I'll check him out. Awesome, thank you for that great lead. Or leave his link here. I'll give him you'll get a subscription from me. Sea River Entertainment says insurance companies might like COVID killing so many unhealthy people. That way they don't pay money for people's health care. That's pretty dark. But okay. Rex Carmen says, I'm bitter that Uber takes over half of every ride. You can say that again, dude. I mean, for how long have they been taking over 50% of our hard-earned cash? Quite a while now. CC says, I hope Trump did not sign for these third world country people. They have their own government. Why don't they take care of their own people? Well, if you look at a country like Nigeria, that where we have a lot of foreign interest in their minerals, in their oil, sort of creates like a win-win situation for the United States and a lot of foreign companies. They help each other out, right? Money flows to countries where there is there's something in it for both sides if they work together, more like joint ventures, right? Americans have a lot of joint ventures with the Israelis. Americans have a lot of joint ventures with the Nigerian. I mean, we sleep in a lot of beds. We send a lot of foreign aid to a lot of these, but I'm with you in the general thinking. Yes, I am. So all you have to do is type in Meet Kevin onto YouTube, which I'll do. I'll do that later, promise. Jody, Chris Reynolds says, so when did Trump sign the thing and how much did he it for? He signed it less than 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago. Mike Black says, Jason Mon, I turned 48 years young. 48 is a good year. Mark Roughton says, I'll paint the Smithsonian for $1 million and save the government money. All right, so I'm going to finish this off. We're almost at the 1 hour mark. So while this boost will not last through the second quarter of next year, higher household savings in the first quarter. Are you leaving? Come say hi. Come say hi before you fly. No, come. Put on your Santa. Santa wants to bring you a Christmas present. So hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Where are you going now?
We're going to watch Christmas lights.
Christmas lights.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to some little fancy Christmas show. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Taking the kids along. Bye. So she's dressed up as Santa. Trump's penchant for drama threw Washington in a frenzy this week, completely scrambling political alliances and risking the livelihoods of millions. Suddenly, Republicans were forced to defy their own president's calls for an even bigger relief bill, and Democrats were given renewed hope that they could renegotiate parts of the proposal more to their liking. But in the end, Democrats got a different kind of political win by criticizing the bill before ultimately signing it. Trump has stepped all over the GOP's message that this bill is a major win for his party. And he's done it just weeks before two high-stakes Senate races in Georgia on January the 5th that will decide control of Congress, where Republican incumbents, Senators Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue, now have to eat their words, touting a law that Trump is on the record saying he hates. Well, we shall see. We shall see. Right? We shall see where this ends. I'm really curious what's going to happen in January 2021. I think it's going to be a very, very busy political month. Hit that like button, everyone. Junk Sane said he postponed relief and gained nothing. What a simpleton. I like the word simpleton. Simpleton. Jason Smith says, Job 9.24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right, cool. I'll check that up, dude. Job 9.24. Dan says this bill was 5,593 pages long. Give it time to read the specifics. Yeah, I don't think any of them is going to literally read through 5,593 pages. I mean, they literally merged several things into one, right? There's so much crap thrown into one big bill. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, but I'm glad it's signed. I'm glad it's signed because I mean, there's a lot of people like who really need the help. You and I, maybe we don't need the help, right? But there's a lot of people out there that were really relying on this cash. Scott Tucker says, Torsten, I watch an accountant's channel called Clearview Tax to get the correct stimulus. That's cool. That's a good lead. People should check it up. I'll check it up as well. All right, my friends, we're on the 1 hour mark. I'll add that I just got out of hospital the night before Christmas. My leg, I had a surgery several months ago. You know about that. It got infected and it was hell. I mean, I spent 2 days in the hospital. The 2 nights before when it got infected, I mean, no sleep, sweating. When bacteria is in your body, my wound got infected and my whole leg just started swelling up and it was purple. It was awful. So I was on a drip for 48 hours. That's why you guys didn't see me for a while. But I got back in time, just in time for Christmas, the 25th, to be with my kids, to be with my wife. Now on very strong antibiotics. It's so cool. This is my son. He says, he got a guitar for Christmas, and then he put on these glasses. This is John Lennon practicing. Just started practicing now. That's my 17-year-old. He's 6'3", big eye. There he is practicing with his little John Lennon I'm going to say love it. Let me just send him something. Yeah, Dan correctly says, if you are already in your state's unemployment system, keep filing your weekly claims. Good feedback. Good feedback. Yeah, Jung said it was no fun, my friend. No fun being in the hospital during coronavirus times. I had 2 COVID tests, one going in, one going out, both negative, thank God. And the hospital was so full. They had a whole floor, 2 floors above my floor. And I was there for 2 nights. 2 on the 5th floor, entirely dedicated to COVID. And the lady, the nurse and the doctor told me it was packed. They were working overtime, 24/7. They were just dealing with COVID cases. So, I mean, we here in LA, I mean, we're one of the hot spots in the world right now for coronavirus. Nina Sweetwood's in the house. She says bills with hundreds of pages should automatically be rejected. I'm with you on that. Like, literally, Nina, 5,900 something pages. I mean, who's going to read that? Who's going to read a document that's, I don't know, what, this much? I mean, that's 500 pages. I remember Ream, about 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. Okay, that much right there, that's about 2,000 pages. Imagine doubling that. You can't even see my hand. It would be 4,000 pages. Who's going to read that? This guy's going to read it? No. Mitch McConnell's going to read it? No. Nancy Pelosi's going to read it? No. Chuck Schumer's going to read it? No. Steve Mnuchin's going to read 5,900 pages? No. Who the fuck is going to read 5,900 pages? That's bonkers. Insanity. Total insanity. Oh, yeah, 5,900 pages, Mr. President. Sign this, but read them first. Yeah, sure, I'll read them. I'll read them overnight, sure. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi, you got 5,900 pages. Read them and then sign off on them. Yeah, sure, I'll read them overnight. So, well, yeah, they give their people a section. Well, you read this little section, you read this little section, you read this little section, you read this little section. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can be a speed reader like Jung's saying, but you're still not going to read 5,000 pages. Not going to happen. Dan Ann says, I have a brother who is a full-time nurse taking care of COVID sick people. No vaccinations yet for him. That's BS. Those are the first people that need to be vaccinated, man. You know, I'm not the first person to sign up for the first vaccine. I'll say, hey, go. You guys are all gung-ho about the vaccine. You know, you guys, I'm not saying you guys, but the people that, you know, why doesn't the Pfizer CEO, the BioNTech CEO, hey, we stand by our product. Pfizer CEO didn't even take it. Those people should take it first. So, okay, we're cool. After 48 hours, we're still alive. 72 hours, we're alive. 96 hours, we're still alive. Okay, now let's start injecting these nurses and all the doctors overnight. But no, they allocated $20 billion towards the vaccines and $9 billion towards the distribution. $29 billion of $900 billion is dedicated towards the vaccines. Help me understand how you think. Okay, Jason Smith is hitting us with a lot of religious phrases. He says 1 Timothy 6:20, Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called. Okay, you spell it out in English for me, please. Give it to me in English, Jason. Jung Sain says, this is why we all got to participate in politics. I think we automatically sucked into politics, right? We sucked in like a vacuum cleaner. Because it's like daily, like what are they up to? Some other crazy thing happening. Jody says, me something to get on the ball because we want to move out of her apartment. We're not having problems with our people like autism kids. Interesting. Teddy T says, Mark Routen, you're right, but rarely are there any standalone bills. These bills are always bundled like this. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Teddy. I don't know why they're bundled. Why do they have to bundle foreign aid in with a COVID bill, in with a defense bill, in with like the Smithsonian and all these government buildings received funding? These are all separate bills, and they bundle them into 5,900 pages. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. I would treat every bill as a standalone bill. You got a defense bill? Let's look at the defense bill. What money is in there for defense? Ships, planes, carriers, Humvees. Let's look at it. Does it make sense? Who's getting the kickbacks? Blah, blah, blah. Taking care of one bill. Sign it. COVID-19 bill. What should it focus on? Infrastructure, distribution of vaccines, blah, blah, blah. One bill, sign off on it, right? A relief bill, maybe support for unemployed, for gig workers, whatever, one bill. Another bill, let's look at, okay, which foreign countries should get $150 billion? Let's break it down. One bill, right? So now suddenly you got 4 or 5 bills. And that to me seems like clarity. More understandable. But no, let's pile it in to frickin' 5,900 pages. And this is so true. Let me just quote this individual, Cressy. I hope I said it correctly. You spell your name C-R-E-S-Y. Just listen to what this individual says. The pandemic has shown us how cruel these horrible politicians really are, on both sides. And I'm not finger pointing and saying, oh, Republicans or Democrats, on both sides. It has shown their worst colors. It has shown what they truly care about. Shocking. Anthony Braham, starting my own rideshare business. Please. The more companies that come out in 2021, the more opposition to Uber and Lyft, the more they have to pull up their pants and pull up their socks and do better. Competition is healthy. That is the reason I'm on board with the Canadians, pushing them. Guys, like, and if the Canadians are listening in, if my brothers that I'm working with in Canada, if you're listening in, I'm very direct, right? That's why you chose me to take on a specific role, right? Less words, more action, right? Less of this, more of action, right? When I see too much of this, like Bob McNulty of Trip, another major promise next week, right? Oh, this is going to launch. Should happen. 36 months later, should have happened. Less talk. What to me, actions. Did you get your insurance in California? Did you get your insurance in New York? Did you get your insurance, your right, your insurance in Canada? Have you applied for all the licenses? Show me all the licenses. And once you start showing me that documentation and showing that you're spending money, that is when I will take a company serious. Bob McNulty said they had an office in Florida, nothing. They said they had an office in Nevada. I went there, nothing, empty, nothing. They showed rendered pictures, modified pictures of Apple buildings, like Apple interior, those Apple stores, right? This all blah, 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 Photoshop, Photoshop, Photoshop. No insurances when you check up, no licenses, right? And that's when you know a company is full of shit, right? You say, yap, signing up people, $149 a pop, but delivering nothing. Bob McNulty, if you are listening in, if your son, like father and son, if you're listening in, whatever it's Trip Rideshare or Trip Restaurants, stop tripping out and start yap, all this BS and all this promises, taking money from all of these individuals. And for once, just do something. Show us that you have an insurance. Show us that you have the state documentation. You are so full of shit. I don't want to catch you on the street because I'll give you a good South African puss clap. Bob McNulty and his son, both of them. I hope I do not run into them because it's not going to end well. I've never seen a bigger BSer and start cycler in my life than Bob McNulty. All right, my friend. My friends. Charlie. Yeah, look it up. Look here. This it's a great thing. Google it. It's what you do in rugby. And when the referee is not watching, you give a good look that up. That's what happens on a rugby field if the referee is in the blind spot and cannot see you. You go out and you dish a puss clap. CN Sky says, I am Chinese and America has fallen into the abyss of huge debt. Send us $5,000 to speed up the collapse of America. Oh, dude, you desperately trolling for money and you should not be here, my friend. You should not be here. CN Sky troll should not be here. So Trudy Gomez says, what Pakistan needs money for the agenda, whatever you call it, to know if a boy or girl is a... Nina says, so much has been snatched away from the people because, as Scott Tucker mentioned, the general public have not gotten anger. What we are waiting for, people. General public has not gotten angry, you probably mean, yeah. Well, they're testing a person's patience. They're testing a person's limits, right? I would argue that we all have a threshold. Like, if somebody is pushing, Wicked One, good to see you. My friend Dennis Torres, Long Beach, is in the house. So, like, Nina, if somebody pushes your buttons, like what is your tolerance level? How much can you take before you get really upset, frustrated, angry? And you say, enough is enough. Stop this nonsense, right? Trudy, I'm not gonna green light that message. I think that's really below the belt, right? I mean, you're putting a stamp, you're putting a brand on people. I can't agree with that, dude. No, we don't get $2,000. We don't. Nancy Pelosi wanted $2,000. Trump wanted $2,000 after 6 months. He could have jumped in there right in the beginning and said, Mitch McConnell, I ain't signing nothing unless you put $2,000 down. I mean, this $2,000 is a great idea and it would help tremendously, but not in the last minute. Hero Shot says, we will all know who isn't voting for 2,000 stimuluses on the Republican side tomorrow. Should be interesting. Very smart statement. I like that. See, Charlie puts it out there. This is what I love. This is the language that I love. He goes, next year, 2021, I will make $100,000. And you know what? You will. You will. I love that type of attitude. I practice that every day, the moment I open up my eyes. He is set on the fact that he's going to make $100,000. And as long as he keeps on his program, with his program, Charlie will make $100K. Wicked One says, I see the strategy that Trump is working. Once January the 6th comes, the next move should come into light. Well, he has a move planned for January the 6th, but it's not going to go anywhere. It's just the same moves that were put on the Supreme Court, the highest court, didn't go anywhere. Trudy Gomez, that message I can greenlight, no problem. Tommy George, Tommy George has a really, really good, and quote me on December the 27th, right? And I'll tell you when you can quote me. Probably around mid-January or end of January, you could say, was Torsten, was the riot chair professor right or wrong on his prediction here? And Tommy says, do you think the future there will be a $2,000 bill? Now, if the Democrats, mark my words, if the Democrats take those 2 Senate seats in Georgia, right? If they take those 2 Senate seats, the Democrats in Georgia, they will push for a very, very, very high stimulus check, for a very big package. Because they can, because then Biden signs off on it. They finally have the Senate because they picked up those 2 seats and they already have the Congress. Then you can get a big bill through. You cannot move things forward. We've seen this in the last 6 months. They didn't have a meeting of the minds. They were fighting each other for 6 months, both sides, Democrats and Republicans, right? Because the Congress and the Senate were split. That's why we ended up with a lousy $600 stimulus check, $600, right? Because the majority of the fat, the bulk of the money goes towards corporations. So to answer your question, can you get a $2,000 stimulus check in the near future, January, February? Yes, only if ... I've already spelled it out. Andrew Baker says Nancy Pelosi needs to go. Mitch McConnell needs to go. Nancy Pelosi needs to go. Chuck Schumer needs to go, and the second guy, I don't know who the second guy is on the GOP. All of those old four farts need to go, right? Anthony Bray, dream on, brother. He says Trump will be our next president on January the 20th. You're dreaming. I don't know what you're smoking, but you're setting yourself up for major, 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 major disappointment. From CEO to nomad, I like that. I'm trying to green light your message. It won't allow me, but I can read it out. He says, maybe or back we whore for four. No, we're not going to whore for four. We don't whore for four. At 5, we maybe drive. No, Mighty Heidi, don't celebrate. Please, please, please. Mighty Heidi is celebrating a $2,000 check. No, we're not. Just because it says $2,000 there. We're not. Thank you for the 2. I appreciate that. But we're getting $600. Drew Maglin, I hate to disappoint you. Trump's presidency is pretty much over. Let him enjoy Christmas in Mar-a-Lago and those last few days. But you're giving yourself a lot of false hope. Drew and the other guy, Andrew, if they believe the guy, their boy, is going to keep on till 2025. Ain't going to happen. Quote me, please. Please tell me I'm wrong on January the 20th. Got my number. You can email me. You can say, hey, you were wrong or you were right. You can email me. Here's my email. And I extend that invite to Drew, and I extend that invite to Anthony. There's my email. Just keep it clean. Fitz Eaton says, I'm wrong. So when you say you're wrong, you say, are you talking to somebody else in the channel or are you talking to me? That's the only question. You want to keep it real. You're gonna get the black or white. You're not gonna get the freaking gray bullshit zone or the conspiracy theories or the QAnon. You're not going to get that here. You're going to get black or white. Hot Upper Mix, is time to rid Pelosi and McConnell. Thank you. I could not agree more. Those two need to go. They are like frickin' fossil dinosaur material and should have been shelved ages ago. Right? Get some fresh blood in there on both sides. Dan in the house. High five. Very nice. Great success. Thank you. Merry Christmas. We'll send mine after the $600 received. Perfect. Thank you, buddy. Anthony Bray says, I need your advice on setting up my business. Please help me. That is real. That I'll gladly help you with. I'll gladly help you with that. I'm not going to help you with your politics, but I'm going to help you. I'd love to help you with that one. I really will. I think, I've given several tips, and I mean, come on, man, the guy down in New Orleans, I helped him with his T-shirt stuff, told him he's been making money, been doing very, very well, set up a T-shirt company, which is not a big investment, making specific gym equipment, weights and that at your house. I've talked about that in many things. There's a lot of money in that, especially during the pandemic. There's certain things that work very, very well during the pandemic, and maybe for the next 6-7 months, right? I only anticipate sort of like normalcy setting back in August 2021. Mark Roughton's got the aliens there. I like them. Yeah, you're more than... Anthony, when it comes to business and it comes to making money, I'm always there. And there's a lot of people that can vouch. I've sent them business plans. I've helped them with their marketing, right? I'll help anyone. I love doing that, right? But on politics, I just think this country is too divided. And we just drifted so far apart. It's really, really hard to bring the sides together. It's really, really hard to do repair work there. But creating business, doing business, improving your family life, just being better off in 2021 all day long, right? As long as you're a healthy individual, as long as you're willing to put in the hours, input equals output, period. Smells like corn chips says Trump got owned by Pelosi, folded like a cheap suit. I just sort of wish that Pelosi and Trump, and I mean, they're so far apart. They hate each other, right? They literally freaking hate each other. But I wish if the guy truly wants $2,000, she wants $2,000 as well. I wish they had started 4 or 5 months ago, trying to talk to each other and say, listen, you want 2,000, I want 2,000. So let's convince Mitch we got to get $2,000. A little bit too late, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Danielle says that's it for Trump. He's done. Yeah, he's done. He's fried potatoes. He's finished. Yeah, they don't talk to each other. I don't know why they don't talk to each other. I mean, is it an ego thing? Is it like, what is it between those two? Like that they cannot, what is it between Nancy and Trump that they have to act like two little kids? They hate each other. They can't talk to each other. They hate each other. Anthony Braces, I'm not going to talk politics. I just want to get my business off the ground. That, you have my email. I put it there. Drew Maglin, sorry, buddy. He says Trump still has the Trump card to use during the electoral certification to the Senate is under protest and put under debate and pushed to the 12th Amendment where House gets only 1 vote per state. He just doesn't have the votes, but he doesn't have the backing. He may think he has the backing, he doesn't. The people have turned against him, especially now with this with the way he threw the GOP under the bus. They're done with him, buddy. I hate to disappoint you, Drew. Please don't hold out for something. I don't want you to be I don't want you to be bitterly disappointed on January 6th. It's not happening. It didn't happen with the highest court in the land, with the Supreme Court, with POTUS. It didn't happen twice, right? If you are holding out for a miracle, if you're a 150% hardcore Trump believer and he's told you that on January the 6th, I'll make it happen for you guys, I don't want you to get your hopes up high. It's not going to happen. If Mitch McConnell, as the GOP head, has already acknowledged Biden, they've moved on, dude. They've moved on, right? It's done. Got to face facts, right? Done. And if you don't concede, you don't have, like, okay, I'm not going to concede. Would you think that's going to make a difference? Well, drag him out of the office. They already have the next game plan set up, the next 4 years. If he wants to rerun in 2024, good. Put the name down and run in 2024. Or keep on collecting from your supporters, get more money in, and then run in 2024. But I'll tell you right now, love or hate me, I don't care a F-U-C-K if you love or hate me for saying this. But the show is over. The next chapter, the next 4 years, 2021 to 2024, will be written. Whatever story is out there for the next 4 years, whether we're going to have another 2 years of pandemic, whether there's going to be a war or a tax or more Nashville, there's a lot coming in the next 4 years, but it's not on Trump's clock. Love or hate me for that. Love or hate me for that. 2021 is only going to get worse for America. You know, I'm the world's biggest optimist, right? I'm not a pessimist. I don't dwell in the area of darkness or negativity. I don't. It's not in my DNA. But I will acknowledge something, Jason, right? When we say 2021 is only going to get worse for America, I don't think we are in a healthy place going into 2021 because there's too many uncertainties. Now, the one uncertainty that's out there is that we already have another COVID strand. It's official. It's all over Europe. It's already in the United States. A second. I hope that these vaccines address this new strain. This new strain is mutating and spreading far faster than the first COVID-19 strain. That to an extent worries me, right? What worries me as well is that these Democrats and Republicans can only allocate $20 billion to vaccines and $9 billion to distribution. I mean, their priorities for Americans worry me, right? If I'm in there and I know that the FDA has approved Pfizer, BioNTech, and has approved Moderna, me personally, all I work on at that moment is get immunity to the people yesterday, ASAP, as fast as you can, and get the numbers down. And when I say get the numbers down, do as they did in New Zealand, do as they did in Australia, do as they did in certain countries in Europe, right? Everything else is bullshit to me, right? The numbers, what we're seeing here in the United States, it's a joke. People are laughing at us. Like, seriously, you've got the best engineers, the best bioengineers, the biggest facilities, the biggest infrastructure, but yet you cannot get your shit together on a federal level. You've got all 50 states working against each other. We saw the same with the PUA. Nevada was waiting for the money. Illinois was waiting for the money. Arizona got the money first. I mean, it was a shit show, ladies and gentlemen. If anything, we've tested the system in 2021 and we've detected tons and tons of flaws in the system. Well, we got to correct those flaws. Outdated computers, outdated infrastructure. I mean, seriously, you know, you could ask yourself, maybe, why is China doing so well? They're brand new. Everything's being done brand new, whether it's roads, bridges. The fastest computer in the world last week announced China owns it. The biggest and fastest computer in the world, right? Non-stop on the go. We got to flush out the old, look at the problems, the flaws, the mistakes, the errors, the non-functional parts of our system and say, how do we get state-of-the-art computers? I mean, a lot of these, excuse me, but I got to use this as an example. A lot of these states, right, when the shit hit the fan and they had to rewrite this, they were working with code written in 1980, 1990, old shitty code that had to suddenly be rewritten. Maybe it gets worse before it gets better. I don't know. Trying to be a big optimist here. But the current now December situation, I personally don't like it. I don't like where we are right now in December 2020. Not very happy with the picture. Not very happy with the allocation of the funds. Right? And I think I mean, 2020 was the most bizarre year ever. I can honestly, I don't think we've experienced anything like we have, you and I, as 2020. But 2021 is going to be a challenging, potentially game-changing year. It's literally 2020 has tested all of our systems and levels to the max worldwide. If you think that Putin in Russia is in a better place than Trump in the United States, no, they're not. They both face this big global pandemic, and it's obviously they don't have it under control. Russians don't have it under control. Chinese may have it semi under control now. Australians are actually doing pretty good at the moment, right? So we've been tested. Our systems are being tested. It's how we adapt. It's how we change. It's how we improve. That's really, to me, is going to decide what 2021 is all about. Andrew Baker says it was a good run. America sold out. So James McPherson asks a good question. He says, when will unemployment boost start? Well, so there was a lapse from December the 26th. It wasn't signed then and immediately continued. It was only signed today. So there's a lapse of 1 week. So the truth is, out of the 11 weeks, we're supposed to get 11 times $300, right? And now we get 10 times $300. So instead of $3,300, I like Mark Roughton, says it's flushing time. Now, Tammy Mai says, yeah, China will own us in 4 years. Now, the one card that China has over the Americans is that the Americans have borrowed so much money from China. China has been lending money to the United States like crazy, right? All of those monies are due at some point, have to be repaid, plus interest, plus, right? So we are truly indebted to China. They control a lot of our, they control the loans, the money that they have forwarded to the United States, right? It's due at some point, right? So it's a very weird dynamic. I'd say the dynamics between Russia, United States, Cold War, after the Cold War, I still think that those two countries are so far apart. And then you got China jumping into the mix. Hello capitalism. I mean, it's a communistic country turning into capitalism, making money overnight, double-digit growth every year, brand new infrastructure. Trudy says, in this life, so you can trust no one, and a lot of people are just fake, super fake, some hypocrites. If no one doesn't see, it's all about the Democrats. Well, you obviously don't trust the Democrats. I can see that. You're a very mistrusting person. But in your opening line says you can't trust anyone. So if you're true to your word, Trudy, you shouldn't be trusting Democrats and Republican politicians, right? But you sort of outed yourself in the end of your comment when you pointed the finger at one specific group, right? So that, to me, there's some double standards I would look at. Alberto G says, will there be a week gap in our unemployment check? There will be one missing week. Yes, there's one $300 week that will be missing, sadly, because they lapsed it, right? So it's literally cut down from 11 weeks to 10 weeks now. I mean, IQ Boy says, what are you talking about? China has been around for thousands of years. Yes, absolutely no doubt about it. I'm talking about China moving into capitalism, right? From communism, just like Russia moved from communism into capitalism overnight, right? In the 90s when the wall came down. China also fairly much opened up and learned about capitalism. Everything has changed. We're on the same page. You're right in saying China has been around for thousands of years, but they've practiced a whole different political, right, game in the past. For them, things have changed since they've moved into the area of capitalism. Oh, wow. I mean, you literally have 1.6 billion people, right? You have more internet users in China than in the entire United States combined. You're looking at about 350 million people versus 1.6 billion people, right? You know how many people have moved from literally, I'm talking rice paddy agriculture farmers right into super wealthy individuals in China. There are more wealthy individuals in China than there are in the United States. I'm not saying there's more money. There's more wealthy individuals that have been, gone from here to there. And maybe let's use things from the rice paddy to the multi-millionaire, right? I mean, Tesla, Rolls-Royce, BMW. I mean, I get a lot of the BMW feedback because my wife is one of the directors there, right? So really high up. The biggest market, China, because they have the numbers, right? In India, you have like what, over 1 billion people. China, you have like 1.6 billion people. Jen Martinella says, I love it. People are bitching about $300 unemployment benefits when the entire restaurant entertainment industry is getting nothing. Step in our shoes. We haven't got shit. And 100%, 100% correct, right? 100%. I mean, restaurant owners, people working in that industry, I cannot even start imagining the stress levels. I mean, I'll tell you here as far as the restaurant business, which I know very well, here in California, several friends who own restaurants, they then invest all the money to get tents and outdoor furniture because they had to move their restaurants outdoors. Spend all this money. Then the COVID numbers go up. Now they can't even offer outdoor dining. I mean, you talked about being 100% right. And it's not about saying people bitching about $300. It's like you have all of these individuals, whether it's restaurant owners, gig workers, right? Let's be honest. Jen takes care of Jen. Nina takes care of Nina. IQ boy takes care of IQ boy. I take care of myself. And how we are programmed in life is that we go out and say, hey, I'm affected or not affected. I know friends that are making more money than ever before. I have a couple of companies, right? Some are doing better. Some are doing worse. My limousine company, down 80%. Other parts of my business are doing even better. So it's how you are personally being affected by the pandemic, or your closest family, or your wife, or your relatives. That's what you look at, right? So if Jen's in the restaurant business, and it's really impacted you, you have a restaurant, or you're working there as a waitress or a waiter, right? Your stress levels are through the roof, right? You've signed a lease, the landlord's not getting their monies, can't pay the employees, business is shut down, you're done. Literally, you're done. You could only try and maybe be super creative, do, take out, get your own delivery service going, pay people to deliver. I mean, people have really been tested. And the restaurants that survive have maybe switched the entire restaurant model to takeouts only. So it's the fittest of the fittest survive. The weak die. So Jen says, I'm a DJ, for instance. I cannot take my gigs overseas at all. Correct. So you're probably, to me, one of the funnest jobs ever, because I used to be a DJ between ages of 14 and 21. Love it. So I can relate to that. As a DJ, you're screwed. You're screwed. You're literally screwed. You can't perform. You can't go to functions. They're not there. You can't even go overseas. You can't go and play in Ibiza. You can't go and play in the Netherlands or Germany or in Italy or in Vegas or in LA. You can't perform, right? You can't. Now, what you can do, Devon Six, a lady DJ, a friend of mine from Austria, she took all her DJing online. Devon Six. So she does online DJ sessions and builds a big social community, and they chip in money. She's just barely staying afloat. But look at how you are tested as a DJ. Yeah, Jen says, laughing my ass off 6 foot away, dancing from each other. Won't happen. Won't happen till August. You can't be in a club 6 foot from one another. It doesn't work like that. People dance, they dance in big crowds, tight, close to each other, right? So that business is literally screwed till maybe August, September 2021. It's done. Wicked One says, it's an almost 90% takeout market here in OKC. Wait times in downtown is exceeding 30 minutes. Right, exactly. So everything is moved towards takeout. Why does Uber Eats do well? Why does Postmates do well? Why does Instacart do so well? Right? Why does Grubhub do so well? Why does DoorDash do so well? Well, they have a model that addresses exactly that. So they've doubled their money since last year, right? Deliveries, and think about shipping deliveries. Amazon doubled their money, tripled their money. So you really have to, if you learn, if you learn from this, and I've learned a lot from this because my different businesses have been challenged and tested, right? And I'm just talking as an individual. Jen has a story, Torsten has a story, Wicked One has a story, right? So you've been tried and tested. All I can say is, the way I look at it is say, okay, moving forward in 2 or 3 years' time, how do I change things so that I don't face the same stress and challenge again? So could another pandemic be down the line in 5 or 10 years' time? Absolutely possible. So I need to look at things that are pandemic proof, right? And I have looked at that, and I started building on that, and I'm already seeing results, right? I don't want to be in a situation where March 2020, we know March 2020, oh my God, what the hell is going on? Everything, overnight, everything changes. And then month after month, there's bad news, up to a point now, restaurants literally folding everywhere. Well, Jen, do you play trance, electronic music, techno, deep house, trap? What do you do? What do you play? Garage? I mean, me personally, I'm a big fan of Electric Daisy Festival, or what is it, EDC, those big events. That's how I made my first big money, is doing big rave events in Europe and South Africa. made a lot of money. So I hear you. That right now is non-existent for a while. Cova, guys, go check it out. LegalRideshare.com, go check it out. Look, like or dislike the video, that's fine. But what's really important, Nifty 50, and I'm on the same page as you are, is that we get some dialogue going, some back and forth. And we're not all going to be on the same page. I totally understand that as being a facilitator, having a YouTube channel, there is no way on earth I'm going to do a live feed and it's going to go smooth and there's a meeting of the minds. Everyone is extremely opinionated. Sometimes you've got to throw big fat egos into the mix. Sometimes you have to throw very misinformed individuals who are getting news from very, very unreliable sources into the mix. Then you have to throw trolls into the mix. Then you have to throw highly opinionated people into the mix. But but let all of those forces collide in a live stream and you get a lot of good dialogue going, right? And when you really kick back and you look at almost 2-hour live stream, a lot of productivity comes out of it. People come in and say, oh, we're getting $2,000. No, you're not. This and this and this happened, right? Oh, by the way, what happened is that 1 week, or do we get that 1 week? Or no, you don't. You lost out on that 3. So now you can start working with numbers. You've got a person like Jen, pretty angry. She's a DJ. She's upset. She's, well, you guys are bitching about your $300, but what about us DJs? Listen, you're all in this together. So you either help each other or you fucking sink together. Very simple. But the more you biatch and the more you moan and the more you whine and the more you cry, you're not resolving shit, right? So listen to each other, respect each other, try and learn from another, and at least take something away out of a 1 hour, 2 hour feed and say, listen, I learned something today. I've learned a lot today. Jen says electronica, progressive house, trance, techno, all that good stuff. That's my music. That is my music. On Sirius XM, there's 2 channels, BPM, and then there's what's after BPM, the other channel. Help me out. The other electronic channel on Sirius XM. I tune into them a lot, right? But then I also love reggae. I love classic music. I love rock. Just love music. Yes, I've signed up for Curial. Yeah. I know the people behind Curial. Flo Kunle in the house throws down 25. Thank you, my brother. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, right? Dr. Reicher, thanks for the passion. Happy New Year. Flo, you have a beautiful family, my friend. And one thing I told Flo, and you can go to Flo's channel and check out the video. Every year, his family sends me a Christmas video. I look forward to that video every year. It's very, very uplifting and special. When Flo, his wife, his son, his little son, and his little daughter sing Merry Christmas. Got to watch those videos. And you'll understand that he's a great father and he's a caring man. And these are the people that I want to see in 2021, that I want to see and talk to in 2022, right? The Flo Kunles of the world. He knows, we know each other for years, communicating. We share, we respect each other, right? Good to see you here. Jen says, #me too. Very cool. Italiano, va bene, mille grazie. That's the hot, feisty Italian blood running through Jen's veins. Martinello, Roma, Milano, Firenze. Which city are you from? Gvorg TM says, I've been getting my unemployment since this mess started in March. I got one extension and it ended in November. How do I qualify for another one? Am I going to get the $300 for 11 weeks? I'm going to carefully say the answer is yes, but because of this delay, because of the lapse, it's no longer 11 weeks. It's 10 weeks. So bank on $3,000, not $3,300. I'm still curious, Jen, what part of Italia, Bella Italia, which part are your parents from? North or south? Are you from Sicilia or Moderna or Rimini or Firenze or Roma or Milano or Pavia? Where are you from? Curious. Curious George. Mohammed Khalil's in the house. Venezia, Napolitano. Nice. I've been to Italy many times, Jen. I dated an Italian girl that I met at the Olympic Games in Barcelona in 1992. I met this Italian girl. And she stayed in Pavia, just outside of Milano. And I would fly down or drive down from Germany because I was studied in Germany, and then I started working in Germany and London. And I'd always used to go down to Italy to visit my girlfriend. And then for many years, I also had a French girlfriend, Florence Jangot from Paris. So we just go down to Paris. What we don't do, what men or women do to try and get a long distance, to try and keep a long distance relationship going. I could write a freaking book about that. Both. Gevok, good to see you here. Ruth Phillips is in the house and says, Jason Smith, most people are unaware of that. Now, how many days do we have left? Anybody working on New Year's Eve? Anybody booked out private trips or Uber or Lyft? Or who's going to be working on New Year's Eve? Usually, historically, NYE New Year's Eve is always good to us, a big, big money maker. It's going to be very, very interesting what happens on New Year's Eve. Will the people go out partying? Will they defy the COVID rules or regulations? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen on New Year's Eve. Whether you're staying at home, staying safe, or are you going to go out and say, listen, I'm going to do my shift and see what I make, right? We know Jen is not going to be DJing on New Year's Eve, right? Usually you'd always, let me ask you, you were always booked out. New Year's Eve 2019, Jen was booked out DJing. New Year's Eve 2018, Jen was booked out DJing. This is probably your best payday, right? As a DJ. Carlos Garcia in the house. Hola, amigo. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. Hope you and your family are doing well, Carlos. Hit that button. I love it. I've got 71 people in the house and I've got 70 likes. I love that formula. ¿Qué pasa? Yeah, it's going well. I spent 2 days in hospital. Just got out the day before Christmas because my surgery got infected and it's still in hellish pain. So I was on the drip for 2 days and now I have strong antibiotics, and I just hope and pray my foot gets better. Hope and pray. Feliz Navidad. I hope you had a great Christmas, and Feliz Año Nuevo. Happy New Year to you too and your familia. Tim Olsen is in the house. How are you? Good to see you. Much love back. What are you up to on New Year's Eve, Tim? Are you going to chill with the family? You're going to hang low? You're going to go out and work? What's going to happen New Year's Eve, folks? What's going to happen? Ruth, thank you. Appreciate what you said. I'm on 2 hours right now. It's been fun. It's been great. We've had a lot of good. Vera Eslong, welcome. Oh, you've been to South Africa a few times to see your boyfriend? Fantastic. Good. So you know what it's like to try and keep a long distance relationship, right? I mean, you're dedicated. You're from America and you traveled to South Africa a few times to be with your boyfriend. That, Vera, is dedication. That is commitment. Sherelle is in the house. She says, happy holidays, everyone. Tim Olson's going to chill. Very cool. Chill. You deserve it. You deserve it. Scott Tucker says, Prof, I sent you more information. Scott, you've sent me a ton of great information as throughout 2020. I'm grateful that, as has Sherelle, as have many other people. Dubai New Year's Eve, Metro Manila was dope. That's super cool. So, Jen, I've been to the Love Parade in Berlin 3 times. I've been to May Day. I've been to all the big raves, underground raves in the UK, a lot of them in Germany, way back to even Sven Väth, Frankie Knuckles, Armin van Buuren, Tiesto. Worked with a lot of great people and made a lot of money with raves, made boatloads of money with raves. 1994, I did the New Year's Eve party in Cape Town, South Africa. Had a lot of the foreign DJs from Holland, all over Europe, Belgium, America, South America, fly out to South Africa. Sold 38,000 tickets that night and made $1.7 million net after all expenses. Got about $500,000 from the sponsors. Today, for the big DJs, I mean, you're looking at big money, $30,000 to $300,000 for a 2-hour set. Can almost not afford to get the big boys, right? The big boys have been bought up by companies like Clearwater. Nevada, Las Vegas has all of their resident DJs. They pay them big money. If you're in that league, you're making the big money, the real big money. But back in the day, you could still put a budget together and get good 5-6 good DJs for under $100,000, and you could throw a mammoth party and make a shitload of money. Love Parade is one of the greatest experiences I've ever been to. With all the trucks going through Brandenburger Tor down there, all the DJs, mobile DJs on the trucks, and literally 1 to 2 million people going through the streets. Mobile showers. I mean, off the charts. If you ever want to look up, Jen, help me out. What is the big event called in Belgium? I've been there. I keep on forgetting the name. Big one. Still current. Yeah, it's fun work, man. And the biggest promoter that I worked with, Jen, was AMPM. They own all the big DJs. So I would send, back in the day, faxes or emails and then book the DJs and put down the deposits. Some had, obviously they want first class flights, first class hotels. One guy in the contract had wanted 4 grams of cocaine. 4 grams of cocaine in the contract. First gram I had to supply at that time. Second gram, I'm like a freaking drug dealer. But that's what I had to sign and agree to get this world-renowned DJ to my event. Literally, not proud of it, but I signed that I would supply 1 gram of coke at that time, 1 gram of coke at that time. Wanted 4 grams of coke over a duration of 2-hour sets, 4 hours. Interesting life being a DJ. Mohammed says, yeah, Paris Hilton charges a shitload of money to show up at a party. Mohammed Khalil says, state of Michigan authorized food stamps. Users be able to buy food from restaurants. I don't know if it started yet. Interesting question. We'll have to look into that one. No, not Sensation. No, what's the big Belgian rave called? Let me look it up. I know, it's on the tip of my tongue. Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland. That's what it's called. Tomorrowland. So you got the Love Parade in Berlin. You got Tomorrowland. Remember that great club in the UK back in the day, Ministry of Sound. Used to go to the Ministry of Sound a lot. Went to the big festival in Glasgow. Big festival in London that threw these big events. Fun times. Abdul Akbri's in the house. Napa Valley, how are we doing, buddy? How are we doing after all those fires? Has Napa recovered? How is Napa doing? One of my favorite spots in Sonoma and Napa up in the north. Love it. And then also the area above Santa Barbara, the wine country there. Santa Ynez, Los Olivos, Solvang, and obviously the best area, Napa and Napa and Sonoma. Greatest wine country. Hey, you have to speak the truth. I don't know if I'm hilarious, you're the judge, but I do try to my best ability speak the truth, right? So I do believe in something like called karma, and you know, if you bullshit your way through in life somewhere, and I've seen it too often, I've seen it happen to too many people, to the bullshitters of the world, that slaps them in the face. Right, so you might as well go out there and be authentic, mutual exchange of authentic energy, and you'll do well. You'll do well. Lafis Rus says, how about unemployment? So the PUA in the bill, 11 weeks times 300, is now 10 weeks times 300. So it ends in March. So you could factor in your $600 stimulus check, $600 for each additional child if you have kids. Right? But if you're a single dude or single girl, you're not married, you got that $600 plus 10 times 300. You're looking at a total between December the 27th and March, $3,600. That's what you can count on. So you want to do your numbers, you want to do your calculations, you count on $3,600. Yeah, Uber is slow, Lyft is slow. And that's with COVID. When COVID's gone, hope that happens one day, that whole industry comes back. Car sales, best year ever. Houses, mortgages, new home owners, best year ever. Best interest rates. If you have the money to buy a house and you can and want to get out of a rental, do it. You'll never, ever see 2.9 to 3.2% interest rates. If you want to buy a car, used or new, best deals ever. You will never, ever see interest rates like this in the auto industry ever again. They are literally throwing the cash at you. So those are two areas I would take advantage of. If you're thinking of buying a car, buy a car. If you're thinking of buying a house, always wanted, dreamed of buying a house, buy a house. Ultra is good. Ultra is very good. And then the one that I go with my son every year is Rolling Loud, right? But that's a whole different, that's more the rap hip hop. I join my son at the Rolling Louds. And then a lot of those people are my clients. Like I drive them, right? I've driven Kendrick Lamar, I've driven Travis Scott, Ray Shremmerd, French Montana. I mean, so I get tickets to all of these events. And then even out in Inland Empire, there's the Hard Summer Festival. Get VIP tickets out there because I pick up DJs that come in from Europe and Colombia, drive them out to Orange County or to Vegas to attend U.S. Army. Yes, you are. How did you know? How did you know that? Did you just discover that about yourself today or what? Right? You learned something. Good. You seriously only found that out about yourself today? And rather insulting, because you're basically insulting someone else who's been, in the army for 2.5 years. So that's why I delete your message. Usually army people don't trash other army people. You've served, I've served. As far as your comment goes, GFY. Jen says, so we're getting the $600. We are getting the $600. We're not getting the $2,000. The $600 is now official. Signed and sealed tonight. $600, my guess, within the next 2 weeks. Had to pass Congress, had to get past the Senate, did both those steps, went for signing, he held it up, caved and signed it. It's done. $600 checks go out. I'm going to give one more shout out to my sponsor, Cova. I'm going to drop the link in later. You get 1 month free through the Rideshare Professor. Check it out if you work for any of these companies. God forbid, I hope this never happens to you, but if you do get into an accident, if your car is totaled or you're losing out on wages or you've had riders in the car that got injured, make sure you get yourself a good attorney, legal rideshare. So I always give my sponsors, and then let's not forget, let's give these guys, let's give them a shout out. You guys should sign up for this. Curial, you guys heard of them? Sign up for them. Right, you got Uber Connect. Anybody heard about Uber Connect, where they're starting to deliver packages? That's now happening in the United States. They were very active overseas already. They've come into the United States. Now, Curial, I would say, has taken the Uber Connect model and maybe made it even a little bit better. So make sure you go down to the bottom here and you get your apps. Order anything and have it delivered in under 30 minutes. Curial. Check it out. COURIAL. www.curial.com. Your mannerisms make me chuckle. Well, hey, if I can make you laugh, you can make me laugh. Win-win situation, dear. Win-win. Win-win. Better than lose-lose. Vera S. Long. Do subscribe. I appreciate that. And I would say Robin Reneth is in the house. Vegas. We welcome Robin. What's your referral code for Curial? Good question. I'd have to look it up. I don't know it offhand, but I will get it to you. Thank you, Robin, for asking. John Labont. Trump won, by the way. Welcome to the real world, John. Wake up and smell the coffee. But Vera S. Long, we have a lot of interesting people in here, like John Labont, who still thinks that Trump won. And you're entitled to your opinion, right? I kick trolls out. Usually what I do, just so that you know, in this channel, if we do get a troll, if we do get a hater, or if we do get a racist, this usually what I do is I take this toilet bowl, right? And then what I do is this is usually what I do. Let me show you what I do. If you are a troll, if you're someone that pisses me off, if you're a racist, or you just don't follow the law, or you think you're just ego-based or whatever, I get rid of you. And what I do is I flush, and I flush again. That's it, you're gone. And very often we have to do this because I'm a gig channel and I report about all the gig companies. Try to hold the gig company CEOs responsible for their actions, like Dara Khosrowshahi from CEO of Uber, or John Zimmer or Logan Green, CEOs of Lyft, or Tony Zhu of DoorDash, or Apurva Mehta of Instacart. Sometimes we have to give them the flush, the royal flush, because they just treat their people like crap, right? Like Lamy Rex says, Uber and DoorDash are stealing tips, right? We have to Jason Smith says, what was slavery, a racist or a peace treaty? Well, they're two different periods, right? So under slavery, taking people away from North America, from North Africa, from the west coast of Africa, and selling them to farmers in North America, I would say you were dealing with some pretty racist MFs, right? And then you abolish racism, you sign a treaty, and hopefully, you hope that out of that pie of 100%, that the majority learn from that period in life, change their way of thinking, and move into a promising direction. That's all I can say. That's my answer to that. Dragonaur 2009, interesting name, Dragonaur 2009. I was actually hoping that everyone would get $0. I don't want hyperinflation. Interesting. Nifty 50s Life says, Gute Nacht, everyone, which is in German, it means good night. Gute Nacht, schlaf gut. Good night and sleep well. Und dann, wie man auf Deutsch sagt, süße Träume wünsche ich dir. Wenn du weißt, was ich meine auf Deutsch, gute Nacht, schlaf gut und süße Träume. There we go. Just Jason Smith's hitting us with a lot of revelations. Thank you. Let's keep them coming. Keep them coming. I like it. You got a lot of good quotes there, my brother. Robin Rena says, tried Connect, something not right with that app. Rider requested ride, and I took a picture of her app. I got a Connect request. I questioned it, got nowhere with support, of course. So, and then Jen Martinello says, flush it, flush it. Sometimes I have to flush it. Listen, I think Uber Connect obviously just launched in December. Obviously, you're going to take a while to iron out all the kinks, right? But worthwhile trying, worthwhile maybe trying a second time or a third time. And then you got to compare apples to oranges. How much did you actually make for the time that you spent? How much gas did you burn up, right? Every gig company, and I have one friend, Wicked One, he was in here tonight. He's on 8 different, he works for 8 different gig companies. He knows exactly, he's maximized when and where to be on what app and maximize his earnings. Jen Martinello says, Christians, Irish, and Italians were slaves too in the millions. Yeah, at a different time in history, right? But I think the gentleman early on was asking me, what do I think about here, slavery in the United States? I gave him my answer. Royal James says, hey, my brother, when will we get our check? So What we get is $600, my guess, within the next 2 weeks. And then what has lapsed for 1 week, miss out on one $300 check on PUA, and then it picks up for another 10 following weeks ending in March. And if all goes right, January 20, 2021, my guess is they'll immediately work on a third round, a third stimulus. Right? You had the CARES Act, you have just now signed tonight the second stimulus package, and my guess is shortly after January the 20th, they will be immediately working on a third package. But as we know, it takes two sides to tango. Republicans and Democrats have to tango together. In this second one, it took them 6 months and they couldn't get their shit together, right? So I hope that if we go for a third stimulus, if it's really needed, right, hopefully we have meeting of the minds. My wife, who's out and about with the kids, says, "How are you feeling?" I wonder if they are here, but I got to potentially, where is this? Oh, I wish I could. I'll do that tomorrow in our house, Mondays. She makes these albums every year. Just she prints these books for the kids, and it's they're super cool. So Jason Smith is coming up with some very interesting lines tonight. He says, millions of slaves to billions of slaves. ... Now you get a chance to elaborate what you're trying to tell the people, Jason. Break down for us. What does Jason Smith mean when he says millions of slaves to billions of slaves? Break it down for us, Jason. Jen just straight off agrees with Jason Smith. She says, correct, sir, you are right. So, Jen, break down for us what you hear or what you think you understand when you read Jason's words, millions of slaves to billions of slaves. Jen just automatically says correct. She doesn't question him. She just says, yep, you're right. But why are you right? Yeah, gold and silver usually do well during these type of periods. South Africa really only has gold going for themselves. They do pretty well. I guess he means we are all Uber slaves. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out, Scott. I'm trying to find out. Oh! Get me up to 90, please. We're on 88. I'd appreciate that. Let's squeeze out 2 more likes there, and I'm pretty much almost ready to pull the parachute and jump and then be back on Monday. We're on 89. Thank you for that extra 188 plus 191. And we've got 91 over 91, 91. Anybody for 92? No, I've got 93 in the back there. Thank you very much, very much, very much. 93 in the back there. Anybody, a lady in the front? You want to go to 94? Thank you for the verse. 94 for the verse. Anybody going to go to 95, 95? Anybody bidding for a 95? And we just lost 2 people. 2 people left the room. Okay. And do we have a 93? Anybody for a 93, 93, 93? Anybody in the front row for 93? 93. We're currently on 93. I'll wait. A little break. 94. 94. Indianapolis in the house. I mean, when do we have the Indy 500? When does that come back, for example? Huge boost to the economy of Indiana. Indianapolis. Very true, Vera S. That people tend to follow just like sheep and don't think for own. Question everything, folks. Question everything, right? Because the first thing, like you take care of you first, right? You yourself, you take care of yourself. Joey Valenzuela is in the house. He's number 89. Joey takes care of Joey and his blood, which means his family, maybe he's married, his kids, right? But you going out there every single day and you're figuring out for yourself what is good for Robin, what is good for Jason, what is good for Jen, right? You take care of yourself, right? Now, if you find it within your means to take care of others, or you're a giving person, or you have an abundance of cash, you can pass on $100 here, help that neighbor out, cool. That's wonderful. Those are great acts. But primarily, you're taking care of yourself during the pandemic, right? So question everything. Don't just follow that individually blindfoldedly because he told you ABC. If he told you ABC, go and check it up. Is ABC really ABC? Or is it ABCD? Go and check it up for yourself before you make that next move, right? I don't just trust someone like blindly, oh yeah, okay, because he said, yeah, it's got to be like that. For example, with the stimulus bill. Follow it all the way, research it. Where is it? Oh, it was approved by the Congress. Okay, will the Senate approve on this? No, they didn't. They dropped it down. What are the new conditions? ABC, right? $600, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now, will the final dude, Trump, sign off on this? Maybe he won't. Maybe he wants chaos, right? Art of the deal. Remember, he wrote that book. Maybe he wants the art of the deal. Maybe he wants to sow a little bit of chaos, right? So step by step, go and check your facts, right? Today we can say, numero uno, numero dos, numero tres, all three signed off. Eins, zwei, drei. We have a deal. That's done. Pencil. What do you get? $600. What do you get? 10 times $300. That's it. That's what you can count on tomorrow and up to March 2021. Now, what does January 2021 present? What opportunities? Maybe, like I said, the third stimulus. Maybe. Canadian Sabina Sacramento in the house. Hello from Sacramento, California. A few hundred miles north from me. I wave back at you, Canadian Sabina. Send you a lot of love from LA. You're a sheepdog. Jen is a sheepdog, so you herd the sheep. You make sure that all the you're a sheepdog running around like Australian sheepdog, keeping all these frickin' sheep together, organized them. Well, that's what a DJ does. There's a whole 500 sheep on the dance floor and they're all dancing. And who controls them? The DJ, with the lighting, with the music, with the laser lights, with the strobe lights, with the ambiance, with the mixing, with the next song you select, you controlling those 500 sheep on the dance floor. So yeah, DJ has a lot of control. So in a way, yes, Jen is a sheepdog. She's not the shepherd, she's the sheepdog. What up from Philly? Live Free 2018, good to see you. Love back to you and your family. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. We had a good, I would say we had a really, really special, the guy just offered me $25,000 for one of my cars. Let's talk next week. I just got an offer for $25,000. See there, I put one of my cars up for sale for $30,000, and he just offered $25K. And for the newcomers that don't know me or subscribing for the first time, I'm a big collector of classic cars. I rent them out to the movie industry. Have a whole variety of classics. Love classic cars. Buy a lot on auctions. Have a workshop on Ventura and Tahunga, and have another workshop down in Long Beach where I fix up all of these cars. And a lot of the cars I rent out. A lot of the cars I rent out to Uber and Lyft drivers. And then the classic cars, I try and rent them out to the movie industry, which at the moment sucks because there's no movies being made. So not renting out many classic cars. So, but it'll all come back. I have a lot of faith. I have a lot of faith. Oh, this one is a Ballet, Chevy Ballet. I have a 55 and a 57, and just on the Tuesday auction got a Duster, a Valiant Plymouth, 1972, which you're going to restore and sell. Probably make $15,000, $20,000 on that one car. It's just a formula. Everybody has their formulas, right? Like used to fix and flip a lot of homes, probably fixed and flipped close onto 35 houses, if not more. Made a lot of good money there. But I don't really get excited about fix and flipping homes. Doesn't excite me. But do stuff that excites you. Now, the cool thing with classic cars is every night, if you're not renting them out, you can jump in, you can drive them down, PCH, you can go surfing, you can go and have some fun, right? I'll show you a picture. Here we go. This is the sucker. This is the sucker we're talking about. What are we talking about? This is the one we're talking about. That's the one we're talking about. Which are we talking about? That's the one we're talking about. Yeah, the Plymouths are rare. That's why the bidding on the Plymouth just started going up and up. And I'm like, oh my God, do I have enough money with me? Because I took cash with, and I'm like, did I actually take enough money? Can I ride this guy? So just between me and another guy, putting in the bids, going up in now $50 increments, $100 increments. A layaway? What is that? Layaway. My foot. I broke trimallular, broke 3 bones, the 3 main bones, snapped them. Leg got lodged between 2 spaces and my body slipped in another direction. So my body went in that direction. 215 pounds went in that direction, and the other foot went that and just snapped all 3. And then things were getting better. You know, you get your cast on, and then you start doing therapy, and then boom, out of the blue, last week, out of the blue, my foot got infected. MF, that's all I can say. 2 days in the hospital, lots and lots and lots and lots of antibiotics. And now, I don't know, maybe Jenna's a very curious one. Jenna's got a lot of interesting questions. So you know what, Jen? I wanna show Jen that, you know, the one side this ain't gonna be easy. Why is Jen making me do this? Okay. So the one side, motherfucker. The one side was fine. But then the other side really got fucked up. Why are you making me do this? the other side got totally infected. So the surgeons say the steel has to come out. Now, my body in the past has been very good with surgeries, especially a lot of rugby injuries, a lot of metal in my body, and never an issue, never had a problem. This time around, the metal in my foot did not agree. Did not agree with my body. Do what you love what you do. Well, if you can find that formula in life, you're a happy person. Because if you are upset and bored and don't like going to work and fight through those 8 or 9 hours a day, every single day, you are going to be living a miserable life. My suggestion, get the heck out of what you're doing, change things up, and follow your passions. As you said, do what you love what you do, right? If you can find that formula, you're going to find a lot of more additional happiness in your life. Generally speaking, everything around you is going to get a whole lot better if you follow your passions in life. But if you are some miserable MF going to work every day, hating your job, I hate doing this job. I do not want to do this job. I do not want to wake up today and do this damn job. Don't do it. Don't do it in 2021. Get out of it, man. Get out of it. You and you alone have the power to change that formula. You do not have to go to work every day. Force yourself to work if you don't like it. This could mean get a different degree, study through some online university, go and do your real estate license in 2 months, do something different. Maybe you're a good salesperson, maybe you didn't even know you're a good salesperson. A bone stimulator, just help me out here, because what is your idea of a bone stimulator? Like one of those foot massage machines? Good to see you, Tim. Glad to see you. Yeah, I just got to get through this foot thing. I mean, this is like, I'm a person that goes 180 miles an hour every day, right? I don't rest. And my family comes first, and then I love my work. But this foot has really screwed my formula up for me. This foot has really this thing has really messed things up. It's tested me. And IQ Boy, he says, if you hate your job, come fishing with me. Now, IQ Boy knows I love fishing. As a little child, I love fishing. Always love fishing. Deep sea fishing, trout fishing, whatever it is. I mean, that to me is, that's the relaxation time, right? The downtime. Do something wonderful, go fishing. Right? But we were talking about jobs. Like, do you love your job? Do you hate your job? Do you force yourself to go to your job every day? Any updates from Potter Handy? So from what I've heard from Mark Potter, the main dude, is that end of January or February should be some big decisions. 2021, by the way. And then Robin Reeneth can fill you in. She knows of the new national lawsuit that's been filed, right? That people can join. Robin can speak on behalf of that because she's been pretty instrumental helping the law firm get another class action lawsuit going. Scott Tucker also knows a lot about it. So Jason Smith throws down Romans 9:4. You're putting out a lot of interesting quotes there. Success realizes dreams. Love that name. Success realizes dreams. Just those are 3 magic words. Success realizes dreams. How are you? Good to see you as well. Salute you. Robin Sherelle. Hi, Robin. Hi, Sherelle. Cool. See what I like about the room is we got a lot of family in the room, a lot of hardworking people that already have relationships. They know each other. So they say, oh, my friend is in the house. Sherelle's, oh, Robin's in the house. So got a little cool little dialogue going there. Jen Martinello from Italia, from Napolitano, from Venezia. She says, dude, you need to get some calcium or sodium bentonite clay and apply it to the outside of your skin. That's red. It will draw out the positive ions, which are pathogens and bacteria. Well, amen. I'm with you. Tell me what to get and I'll buy it. So she says, okay, get some calcium. Okay, calcium I have. I've got the best calcium. Sodium, or what, you mean the green, like the green clay? Bentonite, okay. I've got bentonite clay. So you want me to go straight up on the wound and just pack it with bentonite? I can do that because I have that. I have bentonite, good bentonite clay from Italy and from France, by the way, from Modica. You know that little city? Modica is the best bentonite clay in the world. From Italy, your country. Okay, so you want me to pack on the bentonite clay? I'll do that. I don't chop it off. Don't even talk about that. That freaks me out. I want to keep my foot, dude. Sheriff Salah is in the house. I welcome you. Good to see you, my brother. Are you ready for 2021, Sharif? Goodbye, 2020. No. Cressy, I haven't heard from Peterson. I haven't heard from Peterson. I know he went through some really, really harsh. I know he went through some really, really harsh health issues. But I've asked several people, have you heard from Peterson? No. And Peterson and I have a lot of history because I've helped Peterson out twice. I got him an SUV. I rented him an SUV. And when he couldn't make ends meet on the SUV, he asked me, can I get him a Prius? And then I got him a Prius. So he'll testify. And I let off about $2,700. I forgave him that. $2,700 that he still owed in rentals. He was forgiven that debt by me. Be nice to your fellow rideshare brothers and sisters, but I haven't heard from Peterson. Check out BioVentus. I am. Watch me now. Watch me now. Take a picture of that. Deborah Marshall's in the house. She says, good evening. Just got here. What are you chatting about? Confused. Love your accent. Well, love you back, Deborah. What am I talking about? We're talking about what are we really getting? Well, I'll tell you what we're getting. We're getting $600. That's a fact. Because now it's signed, sealed, and delivered. Congress signed off. Senate signed off. He played a couple of little games the last 2 days, but he finally signed off. Now what you can count on is $600. And if you're unemployed, you can count on another 10 weeks of $300, if that helps you, Deborah. And I'm monitoring that. And that's why I was in the hospital. I had a drip through I was for 48 hours on a drip. So the pink and the purple subsided, but it's not pretty. It's not pretty. So it helped me speed heal a 5th metatarsal Jones fracture. Okay, cool. I'm going to check it out, man. I'm going to check it out right now. Bioventus. 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 Bioventus.com / products. I'm reading your messages. I'm not ignoring you. I am not ignoring you. Ivor, good to see you, buddy. Fred Lynn, do I have a Bentley? Sold. Sold it. Bought at the auction. Not much. Okay. Trying to find that. Check it out. We'll check it out. Sodium external. Okay, I like this. I like it. Why did I sell it? Because didn't have to use it much. I like to buy cars that I can make money with. Right? Gabriela Estrada, God bless you all. Sending lots of prayers for the United States. Nice of you to say that, Gabriela. Thank you. I mean, Fred, do you hold on? I don't know how many cars you own, Fred, but do you hold on to everything, or at some point does it make sense to offload things or offload cars? Like, I'll buy cars at auctions, fix them up, sell them. Buy cars at auctions, fix them up, rent them out, right? When dealing with private clients, the big Cadillacs are busy. And every now and again, you can use a high-end car for a high-end booking, but during the COVID-19, those bookings are just not there, right? There's no going to Grammys or Oscars. You know, we used to use that car for those type of events a lot. It's just not happening. So there's a time and a place to hold on to things, I think, and there's a time and a place to offload things. Oh yeah, I have the top of the top Escalades, platinum, the best, $108,000 cars. Love it. Black and bronze. The pink area keeps moving up your leg. Get to the doc quick. Same thing happened to my daughter and she almost lost her arm. Wow. Appreciate you saying that. Oh, it is? You have one? What did you use it for, Jen? It sounds fascinating, that machine. I'm gonna read it up. I mean, that's the website, right? Bioventus. Check it out. I would buy something like that. Speed healing. Is it smart to buy a Bentley now? No, not now. No. When, like, if you're in LA, if you're in a metropolitan city, wait for the pandemic to subside and certain industries to come back. In LA, we can count on the entertainment industry. It's not there. 2020, the entertainment industry evaporated. With all those big events, they're not taking place. No big mass events, Oscars, Grammys, music awards, blah, blah, blah. That's the type of car you can use for those type of events, right? You could use the Bentley or the Rolls Royce, for example, for weddings or that. It's not there. People are not getting married during the pandemic. There's no big events. So to buy a car like that, you could buy cheap right now. A lot of people are offloading. If you have that surplus cash, probably a great time to buy that type of car, right? But you're not going to make money with that car right now. No, absolutely not. Jason Smith just hit us with Jeremiah 51.9. Thank you. So, Jen, do you think the bentonite clay, when it dries up, do you think it would draw out the toxin? Do you think that's what would happen? Jerry Bird, very good question. He says, just got off clear value taxes and meet Kevin. What makes you better? Just asking for the people that don't know you. Well, I'm firstly, when it comes to taxes, I hire experts, right? I'll give you a straight up, honest answer. Where my channel has value is communicating with people to find out where they are and where they want to go and helping them achieve their goals, right? There's multiple businesses that I have built up and sold for a lot of money. I have 2 degrees in the field of business. So I help gig workers across the board maximize their earnings. But I also show people that, for example, that are in the Uber or Lyft field, how to build out their fleets. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of fleet owners around the country open up fleets. Fleets are some of the highest return of investment ROIs that you'll find, way better than apartments or businesses. Leasing out vehicles to the gig industry, you make a lot of money. Knowing how to buy and sell cars, or buy, fix and flip cars, or buy, fix and lease out cars. But that's one segment, right, for gig workers. Where my channel has value, I'm not the tax guy. I'm not going to come out and make beautiful, glorious videos about taxes. I'll rather bring in a tax. I know a lot about the legal world, right? Very versed in the legal world, and definitely a businessman through and through. So generally what I do is I devote my time or share my time and help people go from here to here or climb the ladder. And sometimes in the process they fall down. You check in, where did they go wrong? Readjust and get back up on the ladder and keep on climbing. That's what I'm good at. Great motivator, great friend, great father, great husband, I believe. So family first, familia numero uno. And then when it comes to business, you truly have to follow your passion and do something that you enjoy in life. Earlier on, about 20, 30 minutes ago, we spent at least half an hour talking about this, but don't throw any energy or time at things that you hate doing. Don't go to work or to a job that you hate attending, right? So make some readjustments in life. And, there's a lot of improvement, self-growth for individuals. Nobody's perfect. Helping people move out of the ego and really just focus on a mutual exchange of beneficial energy and really reaching your highest potential for yourself. That I love, and I've got a lot of success stories there. Help people get from there to there. It's a passion of mine, helping people. And a lot of people in this channel that have met me personally or that I've done things with or for, they'll know what I'm talking about, right? Talk is cheap at the end of the day, right? Action do speak louder than words, but good knowledge, good education for anyone, and then exploring the possibilities, right? At some point, like halfway through the journey of vehicles, fleets, etc., going out, getting your real estate license, and then, maxing the true potential, for example, in a luxury vehicle. If you're out there in an Escalade or a 550S or a Bentley and you're moving in the luxury or the SUV category, you're meeting the top people. You're meeting rock stars, you're meeting NBA players, you're meeting businessmen, you're meeting CEOs. How do you network, create relationships with them, and add value to their life and your life? Believe it or not, you can actually do that if you're in the higher echelon categories of Uber or Lyft, or if you have your own TCP license, you have your own limo license. You can open up a whole new world that you never ever knew existed. And I mean, we could do a 5-hour live feed about that. Birmingham, Alabama? No, but I would love to go to Birmingham, Alabama. I've traveled through Alabama briefly. I haven't been to Birmingham. I've been to several of the US states, traveled quite a lot in the United States, done a lot of business here. But I'd say the closest I've been to Alabama, really, where I've spent some time, Florida. Fred Lynn says, give me 2 ways to get high-paying clients. So I asked Fred, I'll ask you, what business are you in? What do you currently do? Just work with me here, but quick. I don't want to spend too much time on this. What do you currently do? Tuxedo, we'll get to tuxedos. I'm just asking, what do you do? Answer me that question. Jen, may not be talking to you directly, but I'm reading every little message. Got me really, really hot and bothered about that, Son King. So you're in the area of, Fred Lynn's in the area of transport. You do trucking, do you transport goods, you transport humans? What do you do? Horses. So you're a private driver, what state? California? Birmingham, Alabama. What car do you drive? You're a private driver in Birmingham, Alabama. What car do you drive? Jerry Bird says, I have 4 boys. I'm a cook, and I'm a sales rep for the #1 cutlery company in the United States. That's cool. I like that. I like that. Ford Expedition. Okay. It's okay. Ford Expedition, I'm going to be very straight up with you. The people that you want to attract, the high-end clients that you want to do business with, usually if they travel, they'll travel in a Mercedes. sometimes Tesla, but most of the time they would prefer a Cadillac or a Suburban, right? Then if you, depending on which car you have, if you can sign up with Uber and Lyft and be on specific platforms, and you can take high-end clients from, and I shouldn't be saying this, but I am saying this, you can take high-end clients from the Uber luxury or the Lyft luxury platforms and funnel them into your private driver network, because right? So where you pick up your Escalade 2020 ESV, fantastic car. So where you pick up your clients would be, you obviously have to know the very best hotels in Birmingham. If you're on Uber and Lyft in the luxury division or with an Escalade in the SUV division, you would try and pick up clients at these type of high-end hotels or venues, airports, and then try and recruit them into your private network. Right? That's what I did very, very successfully. My clientele, you've probably seen many pictures of me with those type of clientele in this channel. And once you become a dedicated driver for them, the relationship develops. And the better your service, the better the car, the better the clients you're attracting, the more high-end clients you'll be driving, the bigger the opportunities get. It's a very, very, very simple formula. Very simple formula. Very simple formula. Pearl Johnson says, new to your channel, I started rideshare last April 2019, probably good times, busy times here in LA. Interested in learning more and other possibilities that might be available. And then the question that I would have for you, Pearl, again, what platforms are you on? Uber or Lyft? What car do you drive? What hours do you do? Right? And maybe there's the potential for you to upgrade, get your California TCP license, and start recruiting your own clients in Calabasas, Hidden Hills, Beverly Hills, Palisades, Bel Air, Brentwood, right? The high-end zip codes, the high-end hotels, the Montage, the Bel Air Hotel, you know, that's where you would attract the type of clientele that you want to do business with and build out relationships. And then it's word of mouth. If you get a big wig, they'll introduce you to 2 or 3 others. Mayo Clinic, Mayo Clinic is great. I see the link, Jen, and I know it's not, YouTube is not showing it. I'm trying to show it, but TCP is the transport charter permit. The equivalent in New York would be the TNC. These are the livery licenses that the state provides in California or New York, for example. Every state has them. Stevik Mayers, $9,000 coming soon. I hope it's coming your way. Thoughts, ideas, and opinions. I'm a full-time gig worker. Last time I got $1,000 EIDL grant. How much will I get this time? Well, it depends how you apply for that grant. Depends how you go in, right? How you package yourself. I've seen people get $25,000. I've seen people get $15,000, $5,000, and $1,000, right? $1,000, by the way, was the absolute minimum that they were granting. So that probably, thoughts, ideas, and opinions is the way you packaged yourself in the presentation to them in order to receive that money. TLC. Yeah, sorry, brain fart here. Give us a country, Alabama. I can't speak like a person from Alabama. I got no idea how a person speaks in Alabama. I can just give you a South African accent or another accent, but not a Texan accent. Alabama, I would not know. Like, how do you pick up an accent? You obviously live there for a long time and you adopt the accent, right? I mean, is there a distinct New York East Coast accent? Absolutely. Is there a distinct California accent? Maybe. Is there a distinct Texan or Alabama accent? Absolutely. I mean, I'm always amazed when a person says, oh, I know you come from Massachusetts. I know you come from Florida. I know you come from Alabama. How the hell do you know that? Because they know all the accents. Lyft, Texas. Cool. And what category? Stevic, what category are you in Lyft in Texas? I'm good, dude. No worries. I just tried. I gave it my best shot, Jen. No guarantees. Lamy Rex says, hey, buddy, I took a 5 screenshot from my account. That Uber fee was $18.50 for one trip, and I get $6.90, including tip. That's stealing. You take that, take the screenshots, and you go to Twitter, and you attach their help desk, Uber help desk. You attach those screenshots. Hey, hang on. Is Uber taking my money? That gets their attention very quickly. Attach that in a tweet, and you've got to look at, or if you put at Uber, you will see all the comment. Attach Dara Khosrowshahi at DKOS, at DKHOS to it, to the tweet, so that they see, hey, this is how much I should be. I mean, here's an $18.50 and they're giving me $6.90. Where's the money? Show me the money, Dara. Show me the money, Uber. Social media. Drop it in the Facebook groups. Make a video, right? All you need to make a video is have a phone. But you got to bring that story, unfortunately, to Uber. Now, the question is it worth putting in all that energy and that time for a few dollars more? For you, it's about the principle. They wronged you, and you're right, they did wrong you. So how much time and energy are you going to invest to get that $5 or $6 additional that they owe you? Do you want to stick it to them, right? Do you want to teach them a lesson, say, hey, you assholes, you owe me this money, and I'm going to put all of this energy into social media? Or do you say, I walk away from it and try something different? I shelve it, I look at it as a loss, move on. Now, if it's a pattern, if they screw you over every single ride, they're stealing, blah, 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 then yes, then you attack them from all sides, maybe even small claims court up to $10,000. But ask yourself, how much energy am I going to put into this? How much do I want to get under their skin, under Dara Khosrowshahi's skin, under Uber's skin? How much noise do I want to make? So yeah, Fred Lynn keeps on smacking me with the same question over and over again, hoping to get an answer. He says, black suit or black tuxedo? Again, tuxedo, no. Don't waste the money on tuxedo. But black suit, maybe with a tie, depends. Like if I'm driving people for the Oscars or the Grammys, or if I'm driving, Foo Fighters or an actress to a special event, sometimes I offer the security, the bodyguarding as well. I'll dress up. But most of my clients know me as a fairly casual. I'll dress smart, good shoes, nice pants, shirt. I don't have to wear a suit unless it's a very specific function, right? I'm not going to dress up in a suit for some other CEO. No, I don't need that client, right? But if my clients tell me, hey, we got a big fancy thing to do, or a big gig, or we need to go into the VIP section because we're on stage tonight, so I want you to drive in and drop us off there, and the paparazzi is there. Sure, I'll wear a suit. I'm not going to wear a tuxedo, man. A tuxedo if you go to a business event, right? Don't have to wear a tuxedo. Don't spend money on a tuxedo. Come on. Stevic says, yes, late night club, pickup, and cowboy games and Texas Rangers, big money. Indeed. But those stadiums right now, Dallas Cowboy, or today there were a couple of great football games going on. I just watched a little bit of the Kansas City Chiefs beat the other guys 17-14. Those stadiums are empty. But when those stadiums are full, as we know in 2018, 2019, big money, right? Right time, right place, big crowds, high surges. If you're doing private trips, even more money. There we go. Mohammed Kosa, a navy sport coat with white or blue shirt, no tie. I like it. That's smart. Super smart casual. Limo tinted or no? Back rear dark tint, yeah, black tint. Those people don't like to really be seen. They want their privacy. They want to kick back, comfort, Evian water, mints, hand sanitizers, a temperature checker in the car, those little sachets with those tissues or napkins if they want to take a whole thing with them. All the little extras for those type of people. That's where you spend the money. You're not spending much money. On board, have a box, welcome. Your private clients, welcome to take one. Now, you can't do this on Uber and Lyft and hand out these expensive masks all the time, right? Besides, the people getting an Uber Lyft the rider should be wearing a mask and the driver should be wearing a mask. It's a given. Now, if they've forgotten it, 4 people get in the car, 3 have a mask, 1 doesn't. Hey, buddy, I have masks. They're $5 each. Do you want one? You can't join the trip if you don't have a mask. Right? But for a private client who's going to a meeting, oh, shit, I forgot to bring my mask. Don't worry, I got you covered. Here, grab one. All the little extras, platinum service. That's what brings the money. That's what gets you the recommendations. That's what gets you the referrals. Word of mouth, most powerful form of advertising in that business. Matthew McConaughey. Do you like him? Are you in love with him, Jen? Do you love Matthew McConaughey? He's married. Sorry. Deborah says, I was called away. Who was so important that you walked away? I had to come back, so I'll have to catch up on conversations. A lot of conversations going on. Deborah, Jen's been giving me a lot of super useful information. We've been talking about the private limo industry for a while, how to succeed there, how to make money. We covered a whole lot of topics today. A lot. And we've got Jason keeping on feeding us with all these proverbs and cool religious phrases. I'm not reading every one of them, but I appreciate you for taking the time and selecting the ones that are meaningful to your heart, because he's putting here Proverbs 16:5. He's putting all these quotes in here. Keep them coming. I'm not stopping you. Oh, Twitter is a powerful weapon. Use it wisely. Don't get blocked. But man, you can leverage a ton of power on Twitter. And sometimes if you do a little bit of research and attach the right names, the right CEOs, boy, you can prick that ego and out them or hold up the mirror to them on Twitter. Woo, wonderful things happen. Brittany Joaquin in the house. Hello, new here. Interesting. I'm from Minnesota. Don't drive for others. Just interesting. Well, you're welcome. Good to have you here, Brittany. Hope you, your family are doing great. Hope you're staying safe during these times. And I hope you're doing everything in your power to get into 2021 in the most healthy, positive fashion possibly for you and your family. Ba-bam. Jason says, wickedness does not like the truth. Interesting. Wickedness does not like the truth. I'm sure the truth does not like wickedness either. They probably don't have a great relationship, Mr. Truth and Mr. Wickedness, right? Works both ways. Fred Lynn says, cigars for New Year's Eve? No. And why on earth would you carry cigars in your limousine? I mean, do you want to F it up for everybody else after New Year's Eve? Hell no. If my clients want to smoke a joint or smoke a vape in my car, no smoking, no vaping. But if you guys want to smoke a joint, I've got a lot of rock stars and musicians, no problem. I will stop. You guys can stand outside, smoke. When you're ready, we get back in the car. Never, ever allow anyone smoking a joint, a cigarette, or a cigar to light that in your car. Done. Done. If you disobey my rules, I don't need you. I have thrown CEOs out of my car. Could not care a continental F-U-C-K who you are. There's the basic rules. And if you're not willing to abide and follow those rules, you're not my client. I don't need you. I don't need your shit in my life. Right? You're providing the very, very best service. You know, sometimes I'll have a cooler on board with the best champagnes, either with, Dom Perignon or Cristal champagne. wines, red wines. Depends who I have in the car, and I know their needs and wants. I find out, what do they want? What do they read? New York Times, what do they want? Right? Find out. Ask a lot of questions. So there's specific people that in my car, I bring along things because I know they want those. Or if they book me out for 4 hours and they go to restaurant shows, concerts, for example, when I travel with the Foo Fighters, I know what each and every band member wants, what they do, what their behavior patterns are, when I stop, when I go, right? Once you got them figured out, a lot of trust goes into you. We trust that you're going to make the next 3-4 hours enjoyable, give us the freedom to do our things, less the smoking, of course, right? And then keep us safe. Good driving manners, right? No speeding, no tailgating, no erratic, crazy, fast and furious shit, right? Just good platinum service. Best drinks to have in the car is just good waters. If you're dealing with high-end clients, Evian water, distilled water, maybe San Pellegrino. Alcohol is a difficult one. You got to know the people and then have a relationship with them. But Fred, I'm going to be very direct with you. If you want to be successful in this game, you're going to have to, like you said already, you're changing from the Ford Expedition to the Escalade, ESV. There you're going in the right direction, 2021. You're not going to build out and keep and maintain those clients that you want, right? I know what you want, but to get there, you have to offload the Expedition for the Escalade period. I'm being very straight with you. Nina says, turning in, good night, and chatters. Hey, good night. Be safe out there. Nina, let's get to 2021, and I hope to see you again. Deborah says, so you like to enjoy the ride and take it all in. So what kind of music is there? Look, I am not a full-time driver, okay? Don't get me wrong here, Deborah. But the relationships that I have built with the people in this industry, which have developed into friendships, which have developed into business relationships with clients, right? Start doing business with clients, right? Could have all originated in the car. Real estate transactions originated in the car. One-on-one, second trip, third trip, fourth trip, fifth trip, driving their kids, relationship, trust, bigger things, right? So very, very selective. And then I say, okay, don't limit yourself. What can you build? What can you network with outside of the vehicle? That's what I focus on now, right? So, and then run your other businesses, and then spend some time having a good conversation with people on YouTube, right? Great, a lot of fun. A lot of good friendships are formed right here in this room. Ask Muhammad Khalil, right? So, I mean, the world's your oyster. It all depends where you want to go. Now, one thing I always advise people, don't overextend yourself, right? Don't jump into anything that you don't know. Why not start off with UberX? Do it for a while. Don't have to have a brand new car. Go and get yourself a second-hand car. Do it for a year or two. Maybe transition to XL. Transition to SUV or luxury. Start your own company. Get your own TCP. Recruit your own fleet. Buy cars. Rent them out. Ship out trips. If you get double, triple bookings, you start shipping out those referrals to other drivers. Take 20, 30% commission from them. You start building a business. Always network, always be nice, always be polite, always put your best foot forward, always show your best manners. And that is what people will remember. Oh, I remember him. Oh, I remember her. Yeah, that was a cool trip. Well, let's book him again. Depends on the market. So you'd have Fred, what you'd have to do is look at the estimator, the Uber and Lyft estimator for SUV, right? In your market, what is a typical airport to hotel or airport to downtown trip cost? You've done them many a times. You know exactly what I'm talking about. right? That estimator fee is what Uber or Lyft would be collecting. You then obviously get 50% of that from Uber or Lyft, right? But that is the dollar figure that you have to work with. So if you're looking at an SUV trip from here, Calabasas to LAX, you're looking at about $200 and something that Uber would charge, right? Now, do you go out and charge them the same? No, maybe I do it for $175, right? So it's really about knowing your Uber and Lyft rates and being able to undercut them by 10, 15% in order to keep that client. And then really, if you are even the wealthiest people, if you're showing them a 10, 15% savings, I will guarantee you will get that 15% that you are saving them back in form of a tip. That $20 or that $50 will come back in form of a tip, right? Oh, YouTube has developed into a hobby a few years. I mean, I have 8 YouTube channels. 3 channels I have monetized. This specific channel that you're in now, Deborah, is called the Rideshare Professor channel. And I really talk about gig work, gig companies, right? So the people that are hugely subscribers here are Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, limo drivers, DoorDash, Grubhubbers, Postmaters, Amazon Flex drivers, Uber Eats drivers, Instacart people, right? So it's a huge community of gig workers. And then how can we help each other? How can we compare? How can we protect each other? What can we exchange to make each other's lives better? That's what this channel is about. I have a real estate channel, right? We'll just talk real estate. Business channel. I do want to do a political channel. I love politics. It's Moose. With all the magazines you have for your clients, do you have to have numerous subscriptions to each? Or do the magazines provide multiple copies for marketing purposes? So, good question. So what I do is I have a source of Lost Hills and the 101. There is a great store called Air One. They have 2 giant magazine racks with all the high-end magazines, all the luxury magazines, right? And it's usually Calabasas magazines, Malibu magazines, home and land magazines, sports car magazines, jewelry magazines. They're all free. So sometimes I'll pick up 15, 20 copies there of each, distribute them. What I'll always do is attach my business card, right? Attach the business card to all the magazines. And then I will go out and spend money. You know, I attach my business card, right? You know, with the face. You can't see it very well. And then obviously with a vehicle on the back, right? So then, oh, that guy, yes, in that car. Cool, I know him. I remember him. And sometimes I'll go and get those really kitschy ones like People's Magazines or US Weekly, right? I find a lot of girls love browsing through them quickly. They look at the dresses, they look at the makeup, right? And no judgment. The guys will tend to look at the business magazines, or sometimes they'll have a New York Times or an LA Times on board, but I adjust accordingly, knowing who's in my car. You know, I ask a lot of questions. I get a lot of feedback. I take a screenshot of that feedback and I say, okay, I know that CEO likes reading whatever it is, Business Weekly or, you know, Wall Street Journal, and then adjust accordingly. I know certain people, out-of-towners that come every few months. I know they love In-N-Out, so I surprise them with huge In-N-Out package. Hey, I brought you the double doubles, the animal fries. And they're like, oh my God, Torsten, you got us In-N-Out, right? I don't care if they finish it all. You know, I make sure I know I'm going to have 4 or 5 people on board. I got enough In-N-Out, right? Very good at remembering what they love, right? What their needs and wants are, right? And then you fine tune it. Gary Bird said, I sold magazines door to door for 3 years. You're a hardcore salesman. Respect. Mineral water, San Pellegrino, like the, you know, carbonated and good natural water, maybe Evian, is like a must. And I'm saying a must is like for the, if you want to attract the creme de la creme, right? Like the real cool clients. But what's even more exciting, the battle of the survivors sold by Mike. Good evening, my fellow drivers. Countdown to New Year's begins. Out with the old, in with the new. I love it. I hope you have a great New Year's Eve battle of the survivors. What was I just saying? Sorry, I lost my track there. Deborah says worldly interests. Elaborate on that. Help me out. Where are you going? What are my worldly interests? Or do you like to talk about worldly interests? Or do you have magazines on board that address worldly interest? Where are we going with that? Just help me out, and I'll run with it. I'll run with it. Fred Lynn says captain chairs or bench seat. Captain's chairs. Yeah. They love their captain's chairs. Obviously, the very back seat is usually where they put kids or excess people. But generally speaking, the people will be in those two captain seats right behind you. And they're not big fans of benches, because benches you have to fold down, get in, get out. No, they want to get in, go through, sit either in the back or in the captain seat, right? And again, I mean, it depends what you want to spend, right? You can pick up great Escalades at good prices right now. I was and still am fortunate that one of my clients is the owner of Keys of Nice, one of the biggest car dealerships in the United States. So I get the cars through him at the best price. And I have him as a client, and I drive his family, right? Howard Tenenbaum. Very, very cool guy. Very, very cool family. You know, if I need something, or if I'm looking for something specific, I know I'll get it through him at the very, very, very best price. Jen says, I was an Uber passenger for 5 years solid, collected business cards and numbers if shared and trusted. Smart. So you're on the other side. You're a passenger. You're getting their numbers, or, you know, they're obviously trying to give you their business card, and then you vibe them out, right, as a passenger. Can I trust this driver? Or should I decline? Or should I just pretend I'll just take his business card and pretend that, you know, I'll give them a call, right? Generally, the people that will want to network with you, right? It's usually not the passenger that says, hey, driver, here's my business card. It's usually the other way around. But a driver is only going to pass a business card to someone, to him or her, if they feel comfortable. Did they have a good conversation? Did they have a great interaction, right? That's usually when you good old-fashioned business card exchange. Silver or black what? Car? Color? Help me. Silver or black? I don't know what. Just complete sentences here. What? Silver or black seats? Silver or black clothing? Black. Black and black. Black interior, black exterior. All right, my friends, 3.5 hours later, I didn't realize it was going to be such a long live feed. I'm just waiting for my family to get back. I need to rest my foot. I'm going to go and get the Betternight clay going. Deborah Marshall says, I was listening to Joshua Phillips earlier regarding China warfare or warfare into all our countries invulnerable. Well, the one thing is shocking, that we allowed the Russians to hack into our systems. Got to hold them responsible for that. That's unacceptable. See, people, foreign countries will try. What can we get away with? So I think you have to be a firm leader, and you have to set boundaries. If somebody wants to screw around on a cyber war level and infiltrate your network, I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to hit them with sanctions? Or are you going to allow them to get away with it? Are you going to pretend it never happened? Are you going to retaliate with a counterattack? I mean, got to set your boundaries, folks. It's like we have to have our boundaries. You have your personal boundaries, right? Diversify, 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 Jen. Geopolitical beast. I like it. Geopolitical beast. It's Moose. Good to see you, my friend. I missed you. How did your small claims go caught with Uber? Well, here's what I did. E. We have E in the house. This is what I did. So I filed 2 big lawsuits against Uber and Lyft. Two big ones each, right? Big ones. I've discussed the dollar figures, how much they were. I don't have to really shout out the dollar figures again, but they were big lawsuits. But prior to that, because when you're going either through arbitration or the civil court system, superior court, this is not an overnight game. This is a long drawn out discovery phase, motions, requests for admissions, discovery. I mean, it takes a while, right? It's a slow process, especially during COVID. Now, the same really goes for small claims court. Usually in the past, 2019, right? You would, hey, Fred, the one thing I want you to do is just ask the question maybe with 1 or 2 emojis. You don't have to take 2/3 of the page with thousands of emojis. It's a little, you're taking up too much real estate, right? But going back to E, I filed the small claims suit for the max, let's say $10,000 against Uber, because I wanted to see, they wanted me to provide evidence, which I did, supplied them the evidence. Just a small little snippet. I just said, okay, from this month, in this month, you owe me 10 grand. I didn't go for the whole picture, 2019, 2020 picture, and prior 2019, right? So what I did is I managed to see, they then presented their argument, their evidence. So what it is, I grabbed the evidence. Thank you very much. This is how they were building their case based on this evidence, because the judge has to see it. The plaintiff has to see it. I have to show the defendant my evidence, right? Exchanging evidence. So now I had all their cards, their deck of cards. What I did then is I stopped the lawsuit, right? With the right to, within the next 3 years, to obviously re-sue them, right? So I'm not giving up the lawsuit, but I'm basically retracting it. And if I want to, I can follow up again with them. But all I did in small claims was to draw them out and see all the evidence. And then I took that evidence and I marched it over to the bigger lawsuits and gave it to the law firms. I said, this is generally their line of defense. And they fell for it. So I don't think I was dealing with the sharpest and brightest attorneys at Uber. Maybe with lower level attorneys. Now, when it comes to the bigger dollar numbers, yeah, they throw bigger attorneys at those bigger cases. But I think my case and my small claims case, and I don't want to say anything wrong here, but I think it was more handled by the paralegals, right? But still, I want to know, what is your counter argument? What is your evidence? What is your argument when I bring this case to you? That was it. Good night, you all. Drive safe from Robin. Aqua, Jen is getting thirsty. She wants water. She is thirsty. I'm thirsty. I've been yapping away for 3.5 hours and I haven't drunk anything. Nada, niente, nichts, niet. What times are you on? What time zone? LA, Pacific Coast, Pacific Standard Time. Deborah says, I got to split. I like that, got to split. I got to run. But I will elaborate next time. My attention is being drawn away from conversation right now. Cool. You got to do what you got to do. Go take care of the family. Maybe the boyfriend's screaming. Maybe the husband needs you. Do your thing. E says, I'm a US disabled vet, got deactivated December the 2nd, 2020. So what you want to do is, there is a link, and this is going to cost you $29. 29 bucks. No, 20, don't quote me, but I think it's $24.99, right? It's going to cost you $24.99. And Legal Rideshare has a link. Shit, let me just see. I want to give you the right information here. Legal Rideshare. There we go. So this is what you do if you get deactivated. Go to legalrideshare.com/deactivation. Deactivation. There it is. Deactivated. We can help. Now, they have 3 steps here. Tim Olson's in the house here. So, DJ, we got a lot to talk about, Miss DJ. We should have a conversation sometime, because that's where I made my first money, like you, DJ. Loved it. So in the reactivation request, right, I believe the service is $24.99. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it's $24.99, right? Put your name, your last name, and then they get to a point where they say which platform, deactivation date, reason you got deactivated. Here it is. Okay, was it over alcohol delivery? Was it a customer complaint? Was it third-party bots? Was it false claims? Was it low ratings? Was it fraud? Was it failed delivery? Was it a background check? Was it safety concerns? Was it intoxication? Was it cancellation rate? Other. So you know why you got deactivated, right? Thank you for the subscription, Deborah. You know why rice that foot after clay. Like rice, raise, or not brown rice, white rice, raise, right? Raise that foot after clay. Okay. So you go there. I gave you the link. Complete the forms, attach your evidence, send the letter, and follow up. That's it. There it is, my friend. See? Did you know that this link even existed? Did you know that as a deactivated driver, there's a chance of you to get represented for as little as $24.99? That's not $249. Most attorneys will charge you upwards $200 to even send out a letter. No, $24.99. Pretty damn good, right? Jen says, FML, do not use metal to mix your clay. It will deactivate the negative ionic charge. Use plastic shaker if possible. Yes, I agree with that. Make it thick, wrap it with saran wrap for at least 20 minutes and then take it off. Okay, so you want me like really, really wrap it up. Okay, cool. I like that. I'll do that. I am following your orders, Doctor. Dr. Jen Martinello from Venice, Italia, Napolitania. Cool, I like that. So E says, saw that they're located in Chicago. Yes, but just jump online, or reach out to them on Monday. Maybe you could ask for Brian Greening. He's one of the heavy hitters, right? But deactivation ain't no fun, especially if you know you're on the right side and they wrongfully terminated you, right? You may even have a wrongful termination lawsuit against them. That's another whole legal angle you could approach these guys. Depends how much you want to rumble. You know, do you want to jump in the boxing ring with them for 12, 15 rounds? Sure. If you're that type of guy, then take them to the cleaners. Why not? Right? Don't fear. White hats are on it. Cool. White hats, black hats, blue hats. We're on it. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 hours and 38 minutes. I'm going to go and start my treatment, Jen's treatment, the saran, the clay, and all. I'm going to do that right now. I'm really into that. Fred says, I can't hear you. Hello? Hello, Fred? Hello, Fred? Hello, Fred? It's on your end, not on my end, because everybody else can hear me. All right, my amigos, my friends, meine Freunde, my Vriende. Bill Johnson, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Massive love to the 56 people in the room. Got 123 likes tonight. I really appreciate you. I'm happy for you that $600 are on the way. I'm happy for you that 10 weeks times $300, $3,000 is on the way, right? This is something we can bank on. It's not like you're moving around in a world of uncertainties. This has been signed by the Senate. This has been signed by the Congress. And now this dude, after playing a little bit of a cat and mouse game with us, has also signed off on it. So that money is on the way, ladies and gentlemen. You can bank on that, right? So I hope and pray you all stay safe. I hope and pray this money hits your shores, your borders within the next 2 weeks, right? I hope and pray it may save you from an eviction. I hope and pray it puts food on your table. I hope and pray it buys you another day. Me. He signed it. Anissa. Good night, dear. Good to see you. Pearl Johnson, Fred, Jen. Thank you, Jen. I'm going to follow your doctor orders. Deborah, great meeting you. E, great meeting you. And for all the wonderful people that participated tonight, it's Moose, Robin Reener, all those wonderful people. Tim Olson, the Battle of Survivors, all of you wonderful peeps. I'm going to put a little line down here. Stay safe and thank you. Thank you for being with me for 3 hours and 41 minutes. I'm starting to lose my voice and I need some water. I need some water. I need some aqua very urgently. Thank you for voting for me, California. Thank you. My name is Arnold. Anyways, I appreciate the new subs. And listen, we're going to get through this. We are going to get through 2020. Bye. Say bye, Felicia. Bye, 2020. Hello, 2021. Bye, pandemic. Bye, COVID. Hello, health. Bye, being poor. Hello, wealth. Bad times, good times. Amigos, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Got 45 lies coming in last minute. He says Trump, the crime family, the Gambino family, the mobster family. Are you guys ready for 2021? That's my question. Who is ready? Let's light up. Let's we have this little tradition. Let's light up the room with emojis and color and hearts, and let's just blow up the screen with a lot of color, because I take a picture and then I mirror it back so you can actually see what I'm seeing. Just blow it up with color. Hit us a lot of ups, a lot of these. There we go. Now we're talking. See, Brittany is smacking them. Boom, look at that. Me lighting it up with hearts. Light it up, light it up, light it up. Light it up, people. I want to take a picture. Because I take a picture. Because this is the frequency we're going to set. Sherelle knows about it. Light it up, light it up, light it up. Light it up, baby. There we go. Light it up. It's getting better. More. I need more. Right now, that's you. Positive. Let's light it up. There we go, Anissa. Woo! Now we're talking, people. Now we're talking. Look at that. Wow. See how the frequency just changed? Look at that, my friends. That's you. That's you. That's all of you. Positive, loving, caring individuals. And that is the frequency, my friends. That is the frequency we are going to project to 2021. I love you all. I thank you for being here. And I'm excited to see you next time. Thank you. God bless you all. Cheers, my friends. Arrivederci Roma. Adios. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye. Tschüss. Adieu.